But bad romance. But I don't know the song. You would do a much better job. Hi everybody. Welcome to the anti-Valentine's Day episode of Odd Shape Panel. We're talking about the worst of the worst this week. I'm Tom.
I'm Kimber.
And real quick, let's say hello to everyone in the room. If I forget somebody, oh no, I see what you're doing here. Hello to Billy, Eric Ossemacher, Morgan, Eric Monroe, Troy, Joe and Ashley, Jonathan Peck, Cal. Did I miss anybody? Randall. Yeah, looks like I got everybody. Real quick. Oh, hello, Morgan. So for those of you who weren't here last OSP, we do every other week, if you're not aware. We started doing this new thing with our Patreon, and we've actually had a big spike in support lately. So thank you so much, everyone who has joined in on that. And we have a little more to tell you about that later. But if that's something that interests you, you could sign up down and below in the descript. Anyway, talking about Valentine's Day. So
yeah, last year we celebrated like our favorite ships and our favorite like romantic moments and stuff, and this year Valentine's Day isn't something that's exciting for everyone, and not everyone's in a relationship and feeling all lovey-dovey. So we figured we would go the opposite route and kind of do a worst moments in relationships, because one of my favorite things ever to do is complain about things not going my way with like who I would pair together in TV shows and stuff. Yeah, it drives me crazy. I'm very passionate about it. So I'm hoping other people in the group are too, and that this can be a fun one for everyone.
This is the first I'm hearing about any of this.
Lies.
Okay.
Dell's here. Hey, Dell.
Hello, Delisha. Also, I think I might have forgotten to say hello to Tom Zambino. Hello, buddy.
Yeah, I thought you might have, but I always say that, and then you're like, no, I said it.
No, this time I did. So, speaking of which, Tom, if you're ready, I will...
Actually, Morgan, because of time zones.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, Morgan, we're still letting Morgan go first because it is 2 a.m. for him there. So when the people like Morgan and Nolan call from overseas, we put them in first, just because if we don't put them in now, they're probably not going to be able to call in. So we appreciate him staying up that late, and we try to accommodate his schedule as much as possible. I like how the camera focused when you did this.
Yeah, this. Hey, Mormo. The Bean Man is here. Mormo Bean, everyone.
Mormo Bean.
Oh, hey, TJ. Thank you. TJ says we look pretty.
TJ.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the Mormo Bean video on Mormo's Facebook page, you should definitely check it out.
See, Morgan's trying to pop up here.
He's already muted. That's a poor start.
He's muted, and we cannot see
no
him.
mic, or no camera.
Oh.
He just wants us to know he's here.
Wait a minute.
I can hear him.
I can hear you.
Wait a minute. What's going on? Camera problem. Why? Oh,
Cal wants to know how much Gatorade's in the room.
He doesn't like Gatorade.
Apparently, the camera on my laptop is not going to work.
Oh no!
On Hangouts, apparently, which has never happened before, as we all know.
Well, Eric Monroe wants you to know that he thinks you're a romantic guy. He can tell.
Eric Monroe has never met me in person.
I mean, there's no confirmation. The actual Morgan we're speaking to.
That's Morgan. Morgan's awake because I told you earlier.
I don't know what to do.
You can restart your laptop. We'll have somebody else hop in there, and then we'll see if that jump starts your.
That's probably the best thing to do.
I have to restart if my camera's not.
Mavis is here, but I'm gonna give her the boot.
Get somebody else in.
Okay, we'll call you right back after we get
yeah.
Tom Z was the first one in from the Patreon list, so
Joe also wants everyone to know that Morgan is what he imagines the Old Spice guy would look like if he was from the UK. Joe, have you heard about the Old Spice Dungeons and Dragons class they made? What was it? The gentleman?
The Old Spice gentleman, I believe.
And they have a gentle lass too, right?
Gentlewoman, yeah.
Woman. Just pulling up Tom's info right here.
Yeah, we need to go through and write people's. That'll be a Patreon perk that if
I won't have to look up your email.
He'll write down your email.
Oh wait, why did this
not
one
for
open?
you? So Mavis is trying to play with something that we have that is actually going out to the patrons as we speak. They're in the mail, but my friend Kayla over at etsy.com/shop/mechanical Kayla made us these cool buttons with Janine's beautiful logo on them, and we're sending those out to the patrons. And they're not little tiny buttons, they're nice big 2-inch buttons, and there's only 30 of these, I think, that will likely ever be made. So
sounds about right.
They're kind of cool little things, and I'm happy that you made them for us. So
All
enjoy when they get to you, patrons. I hope they get there soon.
So we have Tom Zambino coming up next. I just want to bring attention that there's 17 people watching us. Hello, everyone. If you're not talking in the chat, pop in there. Say hello to everybody. Just went down to 16. See what happens when I acknowledge people. They just leave
Janine's
me.
here. That's what. She heard me talking about the pens.
For sure. I'm out of water.
Go get some water.
I will.
I'll wait for Tom to get here. I'm excited about these questions. We got a bunch of questions from you guys, which we really always appreciate. And I know Tom Z is, it was his first time getting one of the questions on. He was pumped about that. Oh, we're having a couple problems with him, but we're going to get him right in here, and hopefully his camera will work.
It wouldn't be our show if we didn't run into technical difficulties right off the bat.
True story.
Mormo says he may have to switch out his Bernie Sanders button for an OSP button. Don't do that, buddy. Just put them next to each other. I would even say put us under the Bernie Sanders. That man summoned a bird to a podium, okay?
It's
Not
true.
many people can do that. Hey, Tom, how's it going?
There we go. Now it's working. Pretty good. How you guys doing?
Good.
You're doing well.
You have any plans for Valentine's Day, or just taking it easy, just another day?
When it's what, Wednesday? So
Yes.
I have a surface review with the Seat Studio, so that's a thing that I have on my calendar.
Nice. Well, let's get right into these questions. Cal, our buddy Cal the Kingslayer at Viren Jade Javu, asked what Viren, damn it, every time we write it down we mess it up.
I'm the
Viren Deja Vu. Boom. Got it.
Second round.
Shut up. What character ended up with the wrong person?
This one was that was the one I struggled with the most because I really didn't have a good answer, except for I'm gonna go with the super deep cut of Riker that's Will Riker with Troy, because frankly I never liked Riker and Troy together. They have like anti-chemistry between each other, to me at least. And one of my favorite episodes of The Next Generation was the episode where everyone forgot who they were, and Ensign Rowe and Riker kind of had a thing for the entire episode, and I thought those two in one episode had better chemistry than Troy and Riker ever had. So I think that would have been a cool way to not only explore an interesting character in Ro Laren, but give Riker something better to do.
Yeah, fair enough.
Agreed. Do you have one of these?
Oh, do I?
Do you have one of these?
I have the only answer to this question, in my opinion. It ruined 2 ships simultaneously, it kind of ruined the entire show. And that's Ted Mosby from How I Met Your Mother. Like the worst, the worst decision
Oh,
ever.
man.
Like the show is about meeting the mother.
I'm
And
so glad that I'm on here when that answer was given, because I love that finale.
oh god, no. Let me finish what I'm saying here. Okay. So the show is about meeting the mother, and when they finally introduce the mother, damn near 10 years into you watching the
Spoilers.
show, well, of course they
I'm
meet the
saying.
mother. Her name's Tracy, and she's fucking adorable and perfect for Ted, and Ted is kind of the worst in general. And you meet this woman who's like kind of has like some of his characteristics that are annoying, but when she does it, they're extra cute. And she's beautiful, and like when she smiles, like I melt. She's super adorbs, and like she plays the ukulele, and she's a gorgeous singer. And they freaking decide to kill this woman off and put him back together with Robin, which is stupid and I hate it. I preferred Robin much more with Barney. I'm a Swarkles all day long. They made a lot more sense to me. They wanted the same things. They had fun together.
Both
like
look good in suits.
both look good in suits. Smoked cigars together. Had a much more interesting romantic history to her and Ted. And like, why reform Barney Stinson? Like, spend seasons developing this arc with Barney to make him a decent guy, just to have him turn now into her horrible ex-husband who acts exactly the same way that he started 10 years earlier at the very beginning of the show. And also, like, why spend a season doing Barney and Robin's wedding to just immediately split them up, and now they're split up for the rest of the show? Like, I hated this decision. It's the single worst decision in any show. It broke my heart. I thought it was fucking awful, and I know that I'm not alone in that, because people will talk about how bad of a choice it was all the time. But to me, like, I loved the mother. I thought she was great, and she kind of made me like get a soft spot for Ted Mosby. Like, after seeing him in all these terrible relationships and making bad decisions, to see him with this woman who he fit so perfectly with, and had so, like, it was so charming when they met. Like, everything was so good literally until like the last 10 minutes of that episode. It butchered it for me.
Like, her introduction, I mean, that's the whole basis of the show, but like the little things they give you is so good. Like when Ted dated her roommate, like,
Yeah,
way ahead of time,
Mhm.
and then was seeing her stuff, and then that stuff came back later.
it's really cute.
It's
And
really
like,
cute.
I love the scene where they meet. Like, she has the umbrella, and like at a certain point through a series of events, he had the umbrella and it had TM written on it, and he was like, oh no, it's my umbrella, TM, Ted Mosby. And she's like, actually, like, it's mine, Tracy McConnell. And that's the first time you hear her name. And it's beautiful. Like, and I always loved the writing on that show, but that's just like, I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know how anyone could defend that decision. So I'm curious to see like what you got out of it. But to me, this was just ridiculous and a horrible decision. And I felt like robbed and cheated of 9 years of character development just to end up right back where we were in the beginning. So it just, I felt kind of robbed. If it weren't for Lily and Marshall being so amazing and two characters that I enjoy
Well, they
so
took
much.
up all the spots last year.
Yeah, they did, because I love them. If they weren't so great, it would be like frustrating for me to rewatch the show, because it really just put a damper on the whole thing for me. I talked about getting a How I Met Your Mother tattoo for a million years, and now I'm so glad I didn't, because I'm so salty about like how this went down.
You get a yellow umbrella with like salt pouring.
Yes, exactly. But go ahead, Tom. Let's hear it.
It's my turn.
Let him. He wanted to talk about this though.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we'll let Tom make his answer.
No, we want to hear
I'm not
why
here to
you like the
booby fight.
finale.
Well, I mean, so the writers did defend it because they obviously had this idea from the beginning, and everyone listening, you could take this with a grain of salt, because Kimber is currently engaged and I am hopelessly single. So we'll take everything I say with a grain of salt. But I found the most interesting dynamic of that show being the fact that Barney was the agent of chaos, and that Ted and Robin, whether it was their friendship or their romance, was really the center point of the show. Yes, Ted is a terrible human who's basically the worst, but those two were the centerpiece. That was the focal point of most of his stories. They give those little tidbits about the mother to kind of clue you in because that's the general question of the show. But it was those two that, whether they were friends or lovers, were the central nerve system of that show, with obviously Lily and Marshall being kind of the rock and Barney being the wild card. And that's and I couldn't stand Robin and Barney. I hated those two because it
Boo.
took away the wild card that was Barney. That was Barney's whole character to me. Was he was the reckless wild card, and
Yeah,
they
but
just
you
kind of
know,
normalized
yeah,
him.
you know that's all a front though. Like they go into depth on how that's just like a character that like it's the suit is a different person. I think my biggest problem with it is that he's telling the story, and so for seasons you're hearing him refer to Robin as Aunt Robin, and so like this woman already has an established role in these kids' lives, um, and now you're asking for permission after telling them like I don't know, like it's just like if that was me on the couch for however long that story took in real life, I would be like mad. I'd be like, why would you like just highlight the Robin reel? You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Yeah,
And he's an unreliable narrator. I don't.
like I can see why Ted would want to be with Robin because she's a woman that has a lot to offer. I think it's kind of cheap to put Robin with Ted because she deserves better than that.
I agree with you.
I also think like with where we're going with the Barney thing, Barney became much more interesting when they revealed things about his past that made him a multi-dimensional character and did show you that that was kind of a facade. And they went through that whole arc with like introducing you to his dad and showing you that it's not so cool when you get older. Like when you're a 40-year-old dude doing that to chicks, like it's not cute or charming anymore. So I think they went well out of their way to like do this growing up thing for Barney and then to backpedal. And again, just like for me, 10 years, you have so much time to develop these characters and you're just starting out right back where you started again with like no growing for Barney. Like you're taking away everything that Barney got better at as a human being and making him just same Barney again. You're putting Ted right back with Robin again when it's been proven repeatedly that they don't work together as a couple.
And that's like I don't think it's not a realization of Ted being like, oh, Robin's the one I belong with. It's Ted being Ted going, oh, this current relationship didn't work out. I need to go back to the last one that I idolize still. It's not healthy. When I was younger, I was an offender. Like, you know what I mean? Like you just like circles are not good. You need to break out of them.
But, yeah.
But
okay,
my
so
turn,
your answer.
I don't like circles, but what I wish was happening was a triangle.
Oh gosh.
And we purposely like didn't bring up like which actors had the worst chemistry and stuff like that because we thought Star Wars would be low-hanging fruit. But I'm gonna go with Star Wars anyway for this answer, and I wish that like I know because she has kids with them, so and that sets the whole trilogy. But I wish Amidala ended up with Obi-Wan, and I think it would have made those movies make sense.
Wait, you cut out as soon as you said Amidala with. You left me
Obi-Wan.
hanging there. Oh, okay.
Anakin thought it was going on anyway, and that's why that shit went down. So you might as well fill that in, and then you have an interesting story. Maybe
and you also have like an adult woman not attracted to like a kid that she's known since they were like a small child, which I always thought was really bizarre. Yeah, that solves a lot of the problems. To be honest, I mean,
if she would have to be with Anakin first though, because Luke and Leia. But you know what? I wish those two worked out. No, I'm kidding.
I feel like we're so choppy. I feel bad. Okay, so our second question tonight is coming from Brian Hurst at Hurstgillies. And he said, what is the most toxic couple that people consider iconic?
I mean, I keep trying to think of better answers, but the obvious answer is obvious, and I'm pretty sure I know what Brian had in mind when he asked that, and that's Joker and Harley. It's flat out it's abusive, and she is clingy, and It's like the textbook abusive relationship. Can't really say too much about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say some stuff about it.
I mean, that was my answer too.
Yeah, it's really terrible. And a lot of people do kind of, they take out of it like your crazy matches my crazy, but if they really know anything about those characters, they know that he's really not good news for her at all. She's a woman
Or
who had a
anyone,
lot
really.
going on for herself, and he really kind of wrecked that and put her in a position where she was making kind of like awful life decisions and doing things that she wouldn't normally do under any other circumstance.
Yeah, I mean, if you read Mad Love, it's all there. And unfortunately, I still haven't seen Suicide Squad, so that's not the unfortunate part. But what I hear is that they tried to do Mad Love and butchered it, so that gives me even more reason not to watch it. Sorry, Bill. I just like people understand that Joker will never be in love with Harley Quinn. She's just a means to an end, and that he loves the relationship. But like the only love story that Joker should be involved with is him and Batman, because like he does. He's in love with Batman. Like he purposely like tries to like admit that has Batman admit that he needs the Joker. Like that's how like intense it gets. But like Harley can be given it all, giant pie and all, and Joker doesn't care.
Yeah, I think you could have easily picked her for which character ended up with the wrong person, because she clearly belongs with Poison Ivy. I think that
or literally any other person.
What was that, Tom? What was that?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, you cut out for a bit, but I hear you now.
We missed what you were trying to say with Poison Ivy.
Oh, well, you said she should be with Poison Ivy, or I said literally anyone else, especially pre-Joker, because she was a fairly successful psychologist before Joker. So literally any normal person would have been perfect for Harley.
Yeah, I like Ivy though. I think like if we're keeping in mind that she has dated the Joker and that she's been through these things and this is kind of her life now, I think that Ivy's like a much better match for her at this point. Because Ivy
do
has
that
a
at
lot
one
of
point, or
good
was
in
that
her as
Catwoman?
well. She has good intentions, you know, like there's stuff that's good in Ivy and stuff that's good in Harley, and maybe they can like bring the better parts out of each other, and at least Ivy is like a nurturing personality, and I think that she could really like love a person. The Joker's never going to be able to do that.
I think it's a shame how much like I think Harley Quinzel, like she's smart, she's athletic, like she is like attractive, but there's no need to like over sexualize her, which I mean for a girl who started out in a complete unitard and now is in like or leotard, I guess it's still tard.
Yeah, she's kind of naked now.
And now she's like naked all the time. And like I watch these animated movies with her, and it's cool because like her joining the Suicide Squad gets her a new sense of purpose and stuff like that. But she's also sleeping with Deadshot and then like or trying to like seduce like Nightwing. And it's like that's a Pamela Isley thing to do, because that's like what her whole thing is about. But like you're turning an abused girl into like an over sexualized girl, and it's just really weird.
Yeah, I think she's one of the most misused characters of all time, unfortunately. And that she's so cool, and they could make her so cool, and I just hate.
I mean, she has cool stuff like that Power Girl.
Oh, I loved that Power Girl run, but Joker wasn't there.
That's exactly it.
Since we all had the same answer there, I'm just going to go to the next question. You, Tom, at Road Raider 3 asked, what romantic trope from TV and movies would get you arrested?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure running through the airport, stealing the ladder, literally anything done at airports from romance movies are not just going to get you thrown into jail. Some of the things might get you thrown in Guantanamo, which is I think reopening. But yes, some of those are getting you into serious prison.
Yeah, I think Tom had the same choice as you.
Yeah, it was exactly it. Like I like Pretty in Pink, like that era of movies. It made more sense in like I remember when I was a kid in like the early 90s, like your parent, like because my parents were divorced, so I would fly back and forth, and like you could bring your kid, or you could like if it was more than one family member, like you can go to the gate and wave goodbye to them as they board the plane. Not anymore. So like it's even more like in your face now of like how like, oh no, you can't just run by that CSA agent. Like that's not gonna go well.
Yeah, that's
But
like especially post
Yeah.
9/11. It's just
oh
not
yeah.
happen.
And even in the
And
90s, people,
Delisha agrees as someone who works in an airport.
like even in the 90s, if you got as far as like once the ramp has retracted into the plane, there's even if you try to go after one of those windows like they do in a lot of romance movies, even in the 90s, you're getting arrested.
Nice.
What about you?
Oh, I went a completely different route, but I certainly picked a trope that's in so many movies. It's not even worth starting to list them. Tom and I are getting married, and one thing that I would absolutely call the police on somebody is if they bursted into our wedding last minute, like an ex of either one of ours, and tried to stop the wedding. This is a horrifying thought for me. Like, and I'm so glad like he and I are getting married in Texas, and we don't know that many people there, and like someone would have to travel thousands of miles.
Nobody's
to
after
do
this.
There's been some creeps in my past that I would be slightly worried that like perhaps someone would, come try to do some crazy romantic gesture. Like it's not romantic to me. It's just creepy, and if you're a lady and you're having cold feet to that extent that somebody could stop your wedding like that, then maybe you shouldn't be getting married. And perhaps have that discussion beforehand. But this is like my personal nightmare at the moment. I would literally have nightmares about like somebody trying to do that.
First time hearing about it.
It's scary. Like
Cal
it's so
says
creepy.
this is why we need swords.
But yeah, it's just creepy and it's stalkerish, and there's like lots of stalkerish moves, whether they be from a man or a woman. I don't want to say like only men do these things, but there's lots of creepy moves in romance movies that are more like horror movies to me.
Pretty much if I've Been Watching You by Sting, is that
Yeah.
is playing in the background of the scene, it's probably illegal.
I think
Unless that's Cool
most
Dance
Sting
Stranger Things
songs,
is fine, but
most Sting songs, if they're in the background of a scene, you might be in a stalker scene.
Roxanne.
Nice. All right, one more question for you tonight. What do you think is the worst date ever in pop culture?
Man, yeah, I'm blanking. I'm gonna let you guys answer first if I can think of something.
Yes, I have one. The first thing that popped into my head, and it's from one of my favorite movies, so I'm going to go ahead and pick this, is the wine date from Forgetting Sarah Marshall. If you've seen this movie, you know that it's about him getting over, it's Jason Segel, and it's about him getting over a relationship, and he goes to Hawaii, like to take a vacation to get away from it, and she is there with the rock star that she's currently banging, played by Russell Brand, basically the worst guy you would want your ex-girlfriend to be with. And yeah, so a little bit later in the movie, he starts getting involved with this woman who's working at the hotel he's at, Mila Kunis, and they decide to go to dinner, and they run into Kristen Bell and Russell Brand, and Jason Segel's just kind of trying to be polite, and he offers them like, oh, do you want to join us, fully expecting that she's going to say no. And because she's jealous of seeing him with another lady, she agrees to it. And they have the worst, like, double date, awkward dinner of all time. And they're just, like, chugging bottles of wine basically throughout the night, except for Russell Brand's character was sober, so he wasn't.
Yeah, but he was getting drinks, though, because Seth...
he was getting cranberry juice. He wasn't...
No, I thought at least that Jonah Hill's character was spiking it the entire time because he was like, oh, you want me to make it good? Okay.
Yeah,
I misinterpreted that situation.
But it just turns into like a horribly uncomfortable situation, and like they're taking turns like kissing their people in front of each other and like saying backstabby or like rude comments and stuff, and it's just really uncomfortable. It is not a situation that I think anybody would want to be any person in that situation, and it gets worse because like Jason Segel's kind of bonding with Russell Brand's character and realizing that like, you know, Russell Brand's realizing that he's not such a good match for Sarah at this point, so it's just bad all around.
Isn't that the same? Isn't that like right
The
before
precursor to the sex competition?
because they share a wall,
Yeah.
So it gets very. I was gonna say real, but not real.
But yeah, that's my pick.
My pick is from Saved by the Bell when Zach Morris decided to take a girl in a wheelchair on a sympathy date, and it was awkward for everybody.
Didn't they make fun of that on Family Guy?
About. Look it up. It's horrible. It's so bad. Like he talks to her like it's bad.
Yeah, I didn't watch Saved by the Bell.
Bad.
I didn't watch it either, but I think they made fun of it on Family Guy.
What's that? What, Tom?
What? Oh, I just said I didn't watch Saved by the Bell, but I think they spoofed that date on Family Guy. They had a whole episode about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you get a pick by any chance? Do you think of something?
Yes, I did thought of one that I swear did not require Googling. Back to the Future.
Oh.
The end of Back to the Future. Because that just everything about that fish under the sea dance. I know I just butchered it exactly like they did in the movie, but everything about that, from the attempted Biff rape to the assault to the, you know, incest implications, everything about that was weird and awkward and went terribly wrong and probably should have scarred his mom for life.
Yeah. I kind of enjoy the Futurama. What is he? I did do the
grandma.
nasty.
He became his own grandfather.
Yeah. All right. Well, we should probably keep going. Did you want to plug anything before you have to go?
Sure. We got a couple things. I'm fresh off of a Gamer Grudge episode, so that's on the Game Fixers now, where I competed and somehow didn't make an ass of myself again. Sorry, spoilers. But let's see. Oh, and the big announcement is I've been stalling forever, but finally set a date. Cars and Popcorn will be returning on Sunday, February 25th at 1 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to do Bond Volume 2. So bringing back Bill, and we're doing it again.
Very cool. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, sorry, in the chat, apparently there's just a lot of horrible dates with Zach Morrison. One was with a heavier Zach Morris. Maybe I say Zach Morrison because he makes me sad. But, oh wait, that's Morrissey. God damn it, where am I? Anyway, with that, thank you so much, Tom, for joining us, and we'll talk soon. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Later.
All right.
I think Zach Morrissey is my new band's name.
Oh my god.
So we're gonna try Morgan again. After Morgan, we will have Joe and Ashley if they're ready. Randall, Mormo, and then TJ. And then we will start getting into the order you guys arrived. There is so much talk about Saved by the Bell. I did not
It's
watch
all right.
Saved by the Bell.
It's all right. Because he's Saved by the Bell. Because he's Saved by the Bell. It's all right. Because I'm saved by the it's all right.
All right, Randall, I see you in the chat. You just let us know when you're home. Hey, there he is.
Oh my god, hi.
Hello.
I can't catch a break with this thing, can I?
No, you can't. I'm glad that we can see you and hear you though this time. You don't
So
look as
am I.
choppy as us.
So am I. I'm really glad I can see you and hear you.
Did you have any plans for Valentine's Day this year?
My plans for Valentine's Day include me on my own with a lot of icy cream,
I like where this is going.
a bed. Again, on my own.
You're
Everyone-
making it really hard to not.
Everyone's got to do what they got to do, man. All right. So, Vera and Jade. Oh, you got me. You know what it is.
Do you want me
Here's-
to try?
I spelled it wrong.
Here's the problem, though. The line
Can
break.
you not?
Wait, no, come on.
You're embarrassing.
Okay, I'm not. It's not your
And
fault.
they can't see you because the camera's on Morgan anyway, so just don't.
Okay, so the line break
Oh, yeah.
is right between Day or Jade and Javu. So it looks like it says J Javu, but it says Vir and Ja Deja Vu. Because Cal's dying in the chat. And he's sick, so hopefully he has enough constitution to get through this.
Laughter is the best medicine, I heard.
He asked, what character ended up with the wrong person?
Well, don't I just have the best answer for this?
It's Tarkin. Tarkin and Vader.
Of course it is. It is Tarkin. You see, you weren't expecting that, were you? But it is Tarkin. Sadly, very sadly, it's non-canon. But wait for it.
I can't believe I guessed it.
In Legends, Tarkin had a wife called Talassa, who he married for power, not love. During that marriage, he had an affair with a girl named Natasi Darla, who apparently he loved very much. So therefore, love should be at the Love should be at the forefront of everyone's mind, and I therefore strongly believe that Grand Moff Tarkin should have gone off with his affair woman rather than his wife. Apparently, his wife looks like that.
I can see why he had the affair. Scratch the screen to get rid of it.
What is that? Advertisement. But his wife doesn't look a very nice woman. But yeah.
No, I can see why he joined the Empire.
I don't know if this was during his. Well, this is non-canon, of course. This is non-canon. Don't get confused. Tarkin isn't actually married, but if you believe legends, then
legends say
then stay with the affair woman, Wilhuff, for your own good.
When Morgan's encouraging affairs.
Yeah, we thought we.
I'm encouraging affairs for Grand Moff Tarkin, not for myself or anyone else. I just don't like the look of Tarkin's wife.
Yeah, Joe says she looks like the evil stepmother from Cinderella.
See, thank you, Joe.
All right.
She could be a lovely person.
She could be so nice.
She's shouting at Tarkin. Look at this picture. She's shouting at him.
Everyone has bad days.
Tarkin, why didn't you mow the lawn? I was busy.
She's very aggressive.
Of ships. Oh, Tarkin. All right. Question. She should be a regular on the Rancy show. So our good buddy Brian Hurst from the DVD Bunker on Tough at Hercules asked, what is the most toxic couple that people consider iconic?
Well, do you know what the funny thing is? When you were going on about Joker and Harley before, I realised that I hadn't even thought of Joker and Harley. And that's obviously the most obvious thing. But my answer was actually because, like I think near enough everyone in Britain at the minute, we have just received the whole series of Friends on Netflix.
Oh, God.
So we're all watching it. Basically, the country's watching it again. And I've watched it all the way through before, and I always thought Ross and Rachel, oh yeah, they're perfectly nice. They're not. They're not,
No,
though.
they're all horrible.
It's an
They're all
awful
horrible.
couple. I've always been more of a Chandler and Monica fan.
Yeah, I don't care about any of them.
Yeah, I care about them too. And Monica and Richard. I like Richard. Just because he has a mustache.
I don't remember Richard.
It's Tom Selleck.
I liked Paul Rudd's cameo, but that was about it.
I have another choice for that one.
I do too.
What do you got?
Well, I thought Morgan was going to say Vincent Price in any of his wives in any movie, especially
House on Haunted Hill.
House on Haunted Hill. But,
well, yeah. To be fair, that is a very, very toxic relationship, but it's a fun one.
You remember that time when you tried to poison me? He like says it's so sweet and like reminiscent. Yeah, so I have a lot of friends who are like goth kids, and I see their weddings, and a popular motif to go with is the Lydia Dietz red dress from Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice and Lydia Dietz are terrible if you consider them an iconic couple.
Tim Burton's the leader.
He literally is forcing this young girl into marrying him to try to make a deal not to have her friends who are ghosts exorcised from her house. And like, what's not a bad scene about that whole thing in general? Like, he's this, we don't even know how old he is, but he's been dead for quite some time now, and he's trying to seduce this basically high school girl who is alive to marry him. It's bizarre, and
establish how much of a pervert he is.
Yeah, like he's a pervert, and they like lure him in with like the little like strip club whorehouse type scenario, and yeah, he's a total creep, man, and he's not good news, and it's strange to me that like, yeah, I get the appeal of a red dress, it's impactful visually, but it's a little weird of an homage for me because Beetlejuice and Lydia Dietz's wedding is so painfully like bad news. So just throwing that out there.
These are the same type of people that would happily couple cosplay as Joker and Harley.
Yes, well, Tom and I couple cosplay as Joker and Harley, but it's because
well, that's not. There's no sort of aggressive hatred between, Tom and you, though, is there?
No, he just loves Joker, and I've been cosplaying as Harley for years, so it worked. But I think
Tom should cosplay as Ivy. And
as Ivy.
And then
don't threaten him with a good time.
I'll wear one petal.
I think after that episode of TV Three-Way, he should cosplay as Brett McKenzie for reasons.
He already looks like Brett McKenzie.
You need the bicycle helmet that looks like his hair.
A bicycle helmet.
Yeah, you do. That
Part
is true.
of the You don't remember that?
Yeah, we're going into other territory here.
Yeah, that's who ended up with the wrong person. Brett and Jermaine should have ended up together.
Look on you and spoon you.
So the next question is from @RoadRaider3. Tom Zambino asked, "What romantic trope from TV or movies would get you arrested?"
I don't have anything specific, but when I was thinking about this, it made me actually realize just how much theft there is in like romance films and romantic comedy films. Like, people are always stealing things for each other.
Yeah.
But you can't. Stealing is against the law.
Yeah, Ted Mosby stole the blue French horn.
Stole the blue French horn. That's an arrestable offence right there.
Morgan first for a second, or we did.
Is life happening?
Oh, I think.
Is life happening?
Yeah, you froze for a minute.
Nah,
but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I love the blue French horn. I'm pretty sure I brought up the blue French horn last year's Valentine's Day episode as something I really liked. But yeah, it'd get you arrested if I went and did that now.
Yeah.
You can't
Billy
do
in
it.
the chat is is calling it the Smurf penis, which is what
Well,
Ted
yes.
called it. And yeah, you would get in lots of trouble. In fact, he does get in trouble doing that on the show. He doesn't quite get arrested. But yeah, you can't be just stealing stuff, man.
People steal a lot of things in romantic films. Least of all, people's hearts. People's hearts are often stolen.
Oh, Morgan.
I'm sorry.
See, this is why you're going to be a great officiant.
Yeah. Also,
right.
about that, any creeps that decide to try and disturb any weddings will not be allowed anywhere near the wedding by me, the officiant and therefore ruler of the wedding ceremony.
Yeah. We'll look forward to the good argument you start with them from a far distance.
He'll have a microphone.
What you need to do is we need to get Nolan the Hulk out so we get some Scottish anger at them.
Yeah, I'm not very aggressive.
That's why if you guys tag team,
I can scare them.
don't get Raul too excited. So
I'm actually a surprisingly good shouter, but I never want to.
Oh.
I never want to do that in front of people I actually like.
Well, then a shouting contest is out of the question.
Yeah, I would.
One more question for you tonight. What do you think was the worst date ever in pop culture?
I honestly have no idea. I'm kind of blanking like Tom was. The worst date. I mean, there's a lot of bad ones. There's a lot of good ones. I guess the good ones stick more in my memory. I
have another bad one.
Well, I was gonna tell them a story. While
please tell me a story.
Okay, so
what is this about us?
It's about us.
You should pass it by me before you just...
Please don't tell me the story.
Okay, go ahead.
So this isn't technically like a first date because me and Kimber had hung out a lot online beforehand, but this was the first time Kimber came to visit me.
For those of you who don't know, we had a long distance relationship for almost a year and a half before we met in person. We met on Tumblr. So yeah. Now continue.
So like I was super nervous, and a show called Catfish was popular at the time, and so I was like, I don't know, like obviously like I had seen her in person and stuff, but still
on
like
Skype,
I was
yeah.
on Skype, and so she comes off the plane, she hugs me, and then she realizes my best friend is there, and he was there for moral support for me, but I didn't realize how awkward the ride home like would be, because it's just like he's like DJing off his iPod, and like obviously like there's so much we want to talk about, but now like my buddy's in the back seat, so that just ended up into us hanging out later, watching Catfish and laughing at the people who it didn't work out for.
It sounds mean when you say it like that.
I'm just saying.
It's not exactly a bad thing.
It could have potentially been bad. That's what I'm saying. I didn't think it was going in a good direction at first. I was worried.
Just be thankful she wasn't a catfish.
It's true.
Nope.
That's all I'd say.
She's a mermaid.
She's not a catfish. I can actually attest to that. Both of you are not catfishes.
What if all of a sudden we like Scooby-Dooed,
No.
but we were just each other?
I feel like I would have found that out.
It's true.
Somehow.
Another really bad date in pop culture, and I'm talking about How I Met Your Mother tonight a lot because there's a lot of problems with romance on that show, is the date that they had twice. If you remember that one, he went on a blind date or something with a girl he met, and then like 6 years later he was on a date and he realized that he already had basically the same date with the same girl, and that he had gone like full circle through all the dating, you know, people in his age range, and somehow ended up with this girl, but didn't realize until like halfway through the date that he had already been out with this girl. And it was sad kind of because she seemed like a nice girl, but it got awkward because they realized, like, they got a little bummed out, like, oh, are we ever going to meet anyone? We've gone through this whole circle of people and ended up back at each other. So that's a pretty bad date.
Yeah, I guess that's more of a bad date in the sense of realization rather than actual scenario.
It was pretty bad too. Like he came off pretty like smug and like.
Well, that's usual though.
overreacting
We
her.
expect that.
And she, I think, like had a bunch of cats that she put outfits on, which isn't necessarily a deal breaker for me, but a lot of people aren't into that. But yeah, so that was another bad one. I think that's all the questions, though, right?
Yes, sir.
So did you you want to plug what you're up to, buddy, and we'll let you get to sleep?
I will just say that I will first of all wish Nolan to get better soon because he's been ill recently, which is why we couldn't put last week's episode of It's a Wonderful Podcast out as it was due. That will now be this coming week's episode. That is still going to be Rebel Without a Cause. And yeah, if you want to check out It's a Wonderful Podcast, it's very wonderful, if I do say so myself. We've only done 2 episodes so far. This Rebel Without a Cause one will be 3, but follow at It's a Wonderful One on Twitter to see when and where that goes on.
I like how you say Twitter that time. Twitter.
The twits.
Yeah, and there's this cool thing on most YouTube channels, at least I think all of them, where we have featured channels on the bar, and there should be It's a Wonderful Podcast should be on there, and Morgan's channel, so check them out. And thank you so much for hanging out with us, Morgan.
Of course. I always love it. You know I always love it.
And hopefully we'll see you soon, buddy. You're about due for a Skype call, so we'll call you soon.
Well, yes, that is true. I'm doing the Harrison Ford angry finger point. Yeah, I'm filled with love on this Valentine's Day. Love you all. Bye, guys.
Later,
Bye, buddy. Am I supposed to kick him out? No, he's gone.
And speaking of Nolan, we do have another Space-Time Rewind coming out soon. I think Tom is editing that.
Yeah, Thursday probably. Hold on. Tuesday is Down Pilot Podcast.
Hello.
Wednesday is Thursday.
Okay, so Thursday for that. Hey, Ash and Joe.
Hello. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Not bad. Not bad.
Hey.
Yeah.
You can turn them up a little.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any Valentine's Day plans?
Yeah, we're gonna cook. We're gonna stay in and cook something. We're gonna go get like some steaks and veggies and stuff from the grocery store and just stay in and cook.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
Nice.
it usually gets really crowded around here, and we've been together for a long time. So, like, the whole "let's go out for Valentine's Day" magic
Doesn't matter.
is like, no, I don't want to wait like 5 hours to eat at the Olive Garden, so we'll just cook at home.
Nice. I like your style.
Yeah, we're pretty chill.
All right, so let's get right into these. Cal, who I'm not saying his handle anymore because it's been...
Deja
We
vu.
just say Cal.
Yeah.
Cal asked, what character ended up with the wrong person?
I'm gonna go with Princess Peach because she ended up with Mario and should have ended up with Bowser, who she was running away with the whole time.
Actually, there's a
Yeah, I know.
conspiracy theory that she ends up with Luigi.
Regardless, it's not Bowser.
Luigi does need a break, though, so I would be happy with that.
I don't know, man. He is the nastiest kart driver.
Well, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do to win.
Nice. Ashley, did you have one?
Yeah, I've been trying to think of like different ones all day, but the only one I could really think of was I love Liz Lemon, but I do not like the man that she married at the end of the final season, Chris.
Spelled with a K and 2 S's.
I like that actor. He's fine, and all of her other boyfriends were also horrible, but I don't know. I just felt that she could do better.
Yeah.
Or not have to be with anyone at all. I mean, she was strong enough on her own, so, you know, she could have adopted those kids, you know, without a man, so...
Tracy
you know.
and Jenna.
Yeah. So, I just did not like their relationship. Again, probably the best one out of all the terrible boyfriends, but and definitely didn't want her to end up with Jack because that would just have been so wrong. But maybe she could just have been a strong, independent woman who don't need no man.
Mhm.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. Like, if you're gonna take a character like Liz Lemon or Leslie Knope or someone like this who is like a strong, independent woman, and if you're gonna match her to somebody, you have to do a really good job, or else people are not gonna accept it. And
It's got to be
like,
the
I think
right
they-
person. Like Leslie got Ben, and that was perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, they knocked it out of the park with Ben Wyatt. Like, he is perfect. He's adorable. And I think, like, a lot of the girls who watch the show would want somebody like a Ben. Like, you would be like, oh, I want my Ben Wyatt, you know?
I don't get it.
Yeah, Tom is Ben and Andy put together. I always tell him.
Bears.
Sex bears. But but yeah, and when they're not successful in that, it is a bummer because you do just feel like, why even bother? Like, just let Liz do her own thing. So I totally understand that point of view and fully agree with you on that.
Yep.
Brian, you know him, you love him. He asked, what's the most toxic couple that people consider iconic?
I'm gonna go with Homer and Marge Simpson.
Ooh, bold move.
I get it though.
Because I know a lot of it is just the way that they're written for the sake of having episodes, but in any given episode, either she is terrible for him or he is terrible for her. Very rarely, if their relationship is the focus of the episode, very rarely is it a healthy focus. It's usually some dumb thing one of them is doing.
And even when they do focus in on like the good aspects of the relationship, it's before the kids, and that's kind of like, it sucks for the show to so heavily imply that they were perfect before the kids, but once the kids showed up, that they obviously didn't want the same things. And because like Homer screws up over and over again, Marge is always there like, okay, homie, come on back. And
I just laugh
exactly.
I don't want children. That's why you see me like with this look, because I do not want children.
But it's one of those situations
we're just gonna
where
adopt Morgan.
Early on, Homer is like an aspiring individual who's trying to do well by his family and stuff like that, and his family is terrible. And then later on, Marge is basically and like the low hanging fruit I could compare to this is the Family Guy people. Those
Peter
two,
and Lois.
Peter and Lois, because that is like a self-destructive couple. But like everyone loves Marge and Homer. They're like TV mom and dad, iconic, and it's just they're terrible.
I mean, he's essentially Archie Bunker. Like he's like he abuses his kid. Like I know Archie abuses his wife, or at least threatens to the moon. But like he's like that trope dad.
Yeah, that's a different show.
That's Ralph. Whatchamacallit?
From Honey
I don't.
Yeah.
Yes.
All of them are kind of the same.
All of
That's
them.
what I'm saying. Like
close.
they all fit that trope where they're boozy, they are like they're lovable, but they still hit their like loved ones or choke them out in the Homer's case.
Or at the very least, they're emotionally abusive.
Oh yeah.
Which is worse sometimes, to be honest. I mean, it's all terrible, but like emotional wounds don't heal, you know?
Exactly. Those emotional scars.
I can agree.
Did you have one, Ashley?
Morgan, he already talked about the one I could think of with Ross and Rachel. Like I grew up watching Friends, but it was more like it was on. My parents were watching it, and then just kind of like looking at stuff back as an adult. It's like, man, that's messed up. Like those two people, like why are they together? The whole we were on a break, they bring it up every time. They're not good for each other, and it's just. And then the fact that they made them have a kid together, and then like they, sitcom conveniently forget the kid's there. It's like, oh yeah, I got the baby monitor. What is that teaching young people? Just leave your kid? No. That's how they get stolen.
Yeah, again, I don't like any of them. They're all manipulative. I don't get how they can afford that apartment. Something's up.
It's rent control. I think they're lying about their grandmother still living there. It has to be that.
Wow.
Horrible people.
Yeah, I think that shows like a not as good How I Met Your Mother. Obviously, we probably wouldn't have How I Met Your Mother if we didn't have Friends, but that shows like How I Met Your Mother has problems, but Friends exponentially has more problems because it came out before that, and like just on the rewatch, it doesn't age well, and there's some stuff that's really offensive and or horrible that comes up on shows like that. And
I mean, once they stopped with the monkey, I didn't care anymore. The monkey was the best part of the whole show.
So, like, with the third episode?
The only good relationship.
Like, that's Ross's kid. We see more of the monkey than we do see his kid throughout the whole series.
Again, the kids are only there when it's convenient to the plot.
Yeah, Ross kind of sucks. He's the Mosby. He is.
Except he's smart.
Tom Zambino asked us, what romantic trope from TV and movies would get you arrested?
Oh man, there's so many of them.
Yeah. My gut instinct was, I think, one that you brought up. It's the running to the plane at the last minute and that kind of stuff, because, you know, I can't think of a time where that wouldn't have gotten you arrested. Even when it was a trope in movies, it would have gotten you arrested in real life.
Yeah.
I like that 30 Rock kind of turned that concept on its ear in one episode, though, where Liz bought a ticket and went through the security to try and catch him at the terminal.
But then they wouldn't let her take her sandwich through, so she chose the sandwich over going to see her man.
Yep.
It was awesome.
Nice.
For me, it's the moment from Say Anything when Lloyd holds up the boombox. Just the stalking. Like, oh, that's so cute in the 80s, but now, no.
Public nuisance.
Yeah, you're being a public nuisance.
Say public disturbance, public nuisance.
Yeah.
And
Get
just
away from her,
trespassing.
Like, her father did not approve of the relationship, and not that parents should control kids on that level, but, like, clearly, like, you're trespassing on their property. They could have you arrested, so...
He was on the sidewalk. No, he was on the lawn.
Yeah, and it's creepy too, just like the song he picked, because it was like supposed to remind her of the time they slept with each other, is kind of like a creepy move, and it's just generally like creepy stalkerish behavior. I also find I was talking what?
There's a police song that would have been worse. That's the only way it would have been worse.
I'll be watching you.
I'll be watching you.
But it's like we can't put any of those songs like on the wedding playlist because they're a little creepy now. I also am not a huge fan of like the boyfriend going up the fire escape to like go to, you know, like Pretty Woman style, because it just like reminds you that someone can go up into your fire escape and like enter your household. That one freaks me out too. Really creepy.
Yeah, I like what you said earlier about like someone showing up at your wedding to like try to win you back. Like, that is the most ridiculous thing. I guess that probably started with The Graduate when like it worked for him. Kind of, but then you see the instant regret was like, what did we just do? Oh God. Yeah, we won't let that happen at your wedding, guys.
I'm gonna buy earpieces for everyone.
You watch a movie the entire time and the guy's being a jerk and you're like, okay, this is his opportunity to like have an arc, become a better person, and like it's just fixed with a grand gesture, or not even like in one case a guitar. 10 Things I Hate About You, which I love, but it's just like it's just so superficial, and it's like that's not real. Like that's not going to fix anything, and it's so frustrating.
And even like the instant regret, like in The Graduate, has kind of become a trope because you see that again repeated in How I Met Your Mother, for instance, and real stuff like that. But like it's been done to the point where like not only is the wedding stopping a trope, like the regret is a trope. So we're not seeing anything new from this that we haven't seen before a half dozen times at least.
Runaway Bride turned a trope into a movie. Like.
Yeah, right. Wowzers. All right, so one more, and I'm curious to see where you guys go with this because it is a pretty open question. What do you think is the worst date ever in pop culture?
For me, it is, and it's the whole premise of the episode. It is an episode of Bob's Burgers where they turn it into a decent date, but the original date itself was terrible. They like Liz or Lynn wants to do a new something new for their date night, so Bob takes them to trivia night.
Oh yeah.
And instead of it being just kind of fun trivia, it's the kind of trivia that it's like, what year did this particular European law get signed into act, or blah 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 blah.
It was like AP,
like
U.S.
history,
European history level,
yeah,
like facts. It's like, oh no.
So when they weren't able to get through it, a lot of people, everyone else, including the judge, just started giving them a hard time. They only really started having fun when they cheated, and they got run out of the bar for cheating on the trivia night. So
yeah, nice.
It was pretty terrible.
Yeah. Try something new and it fails. Like, why didn't we just do the thing that we always do?
Not just that it failed, but that it blew up in their face so spectacularly initially, where in turn it went from like, okay, this is just boring, to this is absolutely humiliating.
So. Ashley?
Mine's another one from 30 Rock when Liz started dating John Hamm's character, who's this doctor, and who you quickly learn is like, he's beautiful, but he is a moron. And their first date is on Valentine's Day. She didn't realize it was on Valentine's Day when she asked him out. So they go over to her apartment. She makes this stew, but she replaces all the water with cheese,
the broth and stuff.
Yeah, cheese. So she has this, reaction to it, and then like something with the way like her apartment, like if you open a window and then open a door at the same time, the bathroom opens, so he sees her on the toilet.
First
date, and she's like, this is like more of a 20th date thing. He's like, no, or how about a never thing? Then it escalates from there, where his ex-wife shows up with their kid. You need to take care of her. She's a kleptomaniac and a liar. And then his mom dies. And so they're like at the hospital, but then she does like a bed, like a confessional to Liz, because she thinks Liz is his first wife, because when you get older and you get into a state, you can misinterpret things. And so she confesses to Liz that she's not his mom, she's his grandmother, and his older sister is his real mom. And it's just, there's no way that would have ever worked out in a relationship, and then plus that he's like a total moron and has no clue. But yeah, it just kept like escalating up and up until it was just totally ridiculous, and very typical for 30 Rock fare. But I think is probably the worst date anybody could ever have, is all those circumstances in one evening on Valentine's Day of all days.
Yeah, that's a rough one for sure.
And then Liz kept eating more of the stew, even though it made her sick.
Tom's pointing at me like I would do that.
Me too.
Same.
It was so good. Oh no.
Brain twins. I should have known. But why don't you let the people know what you guys are up to? I know you've been doing your series over on Geek to My Nerd.
Yeah, we are doing a retrospective review catch-up system thing that we're calling To Infinity War and Beyond. And it's just us going through MCU stuff and talking about it and sharing what we like and we don't like. If you watched our Star Wars retrospective, it uses a very similar format. Mm-hmm. But with these, we are lumping them and timing them in ways that coincide with the releases this year. We just finished the Captain America one because Black Panther is introduced in Civil War, and this weekend is Black Panther, so we will be doing a Black Panther review and chat and all sorts of fun stuff on Sunday. And then Secret of Mana comes out this week, so we're going to start live streaming that. Ashley has been live streaming Stardew Valley on Saturdays. Lots of stuff going on.
Yeah. Fun times.
Yeah, you can also catch Ashley on the upcoming episode of TV Three-Way with me and the lovely Matthew Whitaker. We recorded that, and that will be edited and posted on Monday, is it? So look out for that. We did The Marvelous Miss Maisel, Riverdale, and Toast of London for that episode. So if you like any of those shows, you're thinking about checking them out, or you just are curious what we thought, definitely check that out. And Ashley was wonderful to have, as always, and we will be doing an episode with Joe at some time soon as well. So thank you guys. We love you both.
I can give you a heads up that my TV pick will be a bio boosted pick.
He likes to torture me. You heard it first. But we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good rest of your evening.
Bye.
Bye, guys. All right. So
then it would
Rand,
be...
it's Billy, right?
No.
No?
If,
Oh, is
if
Mormo in here?
Mormo or TJ are here, they would be
okay.
ahead. And Delisha, if she wants.
Is Mormo or TJ here?
I know Del is here, right? Yeah.
And Del is here. If you guys are here, are you calling in?
Why don't you show them these again?
Yeah, have you guys seen this? Our patrons just got sent these. One of the... I know she told you that there's only 30 of them, but did she also tell you it's one of the 3 set? You'll get all 3 if you are a patron. Eventually. I don't know when, but you will. What's that little
Do you want
logo?
to show them a sneak peek at one of the other ones?
A sneak peek?
We
or
haven't
just
done
show
this
them?
Yet. We have not done this yet.
Well, here's number 2. I mean, now I kind of want to show them all of them, but... Don't you want that?
Don't you want that?
That's on my coat right now. Oh, I gotta get behind it so it focuses.
And those will be sent to you guys on your birthdays, whenever your birthday is.
These are birthday pins.
For the patrons.
Patron pins. And
It's same thing
so
with those, only 30 made.
Yeah, only 30. Kimber had to shed blood to get them.
I traded a tattoo for those.
So she had to shed blood to get them. Whoosh, whoosh. Ninja pins. Get yours today. All right. So I haven't heard from Mormo. I haven't heard from Del's not coming in. So I think that means Billy's coming
TJ.
in. Oh, well, that's what I'm saying. I haven't heard from TJ.
Okay, so
either.
yeah, put Billy in.
But once they pop in here, let me know when you're back, and we'll get you back on that speed pass. But Billy's up next.
Choose Billy?
I choose Pikachu. Choose Billy. See what I did there? Jonathan, as always, it's in chronological order of appearance, unless you're on the speed pass.
And that's for $5 patrons get to jump the line. You would then come in the order that the patrons appeared.
Exactly.
But we love all you guys, and we see that we have a big group tonight. We're going to try to get everybody in. Thank you for your patience, as always.
Eric, you may have, but I thought I saw Billy first in the chat, so I think that's why I wrote down Billy. Sorry, but we'll get you in next. Yeah, if you didn't yell first, Eric, how am I supposed to know? Did I just send an invite? I don't remember.
I thought I heard you typing. I'm not sure, though. Send another.
Another, please. You did say beep boop. My bad.
You say dibs.
All right, so we're gonna.
Oh, Mormo's here, so he would be next.
Yeah. So sorry. Yeah, I guess I'll send Mormo an invite, and then
I just typed the opposite.
what are we doing? Okay, so we're doing Billy, then Mormo.
You were already calling Billy, so I feel bad.
I just didn't remember if I actually gave him. The list is ever changing, but you are about
Who's that?
Jonathan. You're second to last on the list. That was Billy's intro music. And here he is.
I didn't even hear it.
It went like this. You are not last, Eric.
Love it. Anyway, what's up?
All right. So great to see you as always, but we're gonna try to plow through these real quick. Not because it's Valentine's Day. That was bad.
Okay.
Sorry, that was not a good joke.
I laughed. which
Well, now I know it's bad.
thanks, Tom. Thanks.
All right, so let's get through this. Our good friend at Virenja Deja Vu, Hal,
Whatever. Just Cal.
asks, what character ended up with the wrong person, Billy? I need to know.
Okay, this might be controversial, but I can't stand these two. And it would be Chris and Ann from Parks and Rec. I don't know whether that's like an but I have a very specific reason. Like Ben and Leslie, love them. Andy and April, absolutely love them. Favorite couple on Parks and Rec for sure. I mean, well, both of them are tied, but they're both amazing. Reason why Chris and Ann don't work for me is because I always preferred Ann single. And I always thought that Ann was just better off single. I thought the way she left the show during the final seasons was really lazy. I know Rashida Jones just wanted to leave or something, but yeah, I thought it was like, oh yeah, spoilers if you haven't seen Parks and Rec, which everybody absolutely needs to see this series. I'm just gonna marry Chris and have a kid off camera. Bye. You know, I never liked that, and it was always on again, off again with the two of them. Same thing with her and Tom. Like, I would, if I were Anne, I would just be like, screw this, I'm my own woman, I can do whatever I want, and then I would have been like, yeah, go Anne.
Especially because she was always kind of like changing herself for the dude she was with, and she did that with Chris as well, and she didn't seem like terribly happy doing all the like fitness stuff and the like health food and stuff.
I mean, we need just Leslie to call Anne names. Like, I can't think of anything, but that was one of the best things in the show.
She calls her like a beautiful tropical fish and a land mermaid.
anything you can think of. Leslie is probably
called. How me and Candace talk to each other, for sure. That reminds me of me and Candace. But yeah, I fully agree with you there. And I just thought of another one, and I can't believe I didn't say it earlier, but Kermit and Miss Piggy is like the worst couple ever. And for those of you smart, wonderful people who watched the show that they did recently, the kind of more adult Muppet show, they brought in this really cute other pig for him. Do you remember what her name was?
I don't. I just remember
she looks like Natalie Dormer. And
Denise.
She was
Denise or something?
Yeah, it is Denise.
I think it's Denise. She is so cute, and she was like so sweet, and I loved her. And Piggy is like the worst. You could easily file like Piggy and Kermit in the toxic, iconic relationships, because like she is so not good for him. He's like this beautiful little like beacon of light and hope, and she's like terrible. So I had to say that once I thought of it. I saw a Kermit in my house because I have them everywhere, and I was like, yeah, Piggy's the worst. But
I hate Miss Piggy. I would shoot her and make I would have great bacon. Let's just say that. Or maybe not, because well, she's a terrible pig.
She is the worst. But I did like Natalie Dormer pig. She was cute.
I did too.
Speaking of, what did you think? You're on the second question, right? Yeah. What did you think is the most toxic couple that people consider iconic?
Okay, I did think about this. My first answer was obviously Ross and Rachel. I can't stand either of them. But I thought of something. It came to me when I saw a movie I recently just watched. I didn't post anything about it because, well, I watch a lot of movies. It was Grease. I rewatched Grease. It's a great movie. Sandy and Danny are awful because Danny is a jerk. He does nothing really to redeem himself. And Sandy literally changes herself at the very end for him. Any person that has to change themselves or they don't have to, but any person that changes themselves for somebody else, that's not good. You should just be yourself. And you know what? Just be like, deal with it. I mean, yeah, I really thought about that. I'm like, this guy's a jerk. Like, and he changes himself for her. But she catches on to that, and she's like, you don't have to do that. But the thing is, he's a jerk.
Yeah, and I'm gonna straight up like give you some I'm over 30 now and I've been through the whole relationship thing and found somebody good advice, and that's gonna be, do not change yourself for people because it doesn't turn out well. You're miserable, they're miserable, the whole thing becomes kind of like this not real situation, and no one can sustain being a different person than who they are for very long anyways, and problems will arise. So you have to be yourself in a relationship, and eventually you're going to find somebody that is complementary to who you are. Like me and Tom are very different in a lot of ways, but we're also very similar in a lot of ways, and that's the best thing, because I'm going to think about things and talk to him about things that he maybe necessarily wouldn't think of, and the same goes for him with me, and that's what makes your relationship interesting.
Was a great idea.
No, but that's what makes your relationship interesting. You don't want to just pretend to be whatever you think this person wants you to be, because it's inauthentic and it's not like something that's sustainable for forever. So if you're looking to have like a relationship forever and you want to keep somebody so bad, be yourself. And if they're right for you, they'll stay there. You know?
There's still room for compromise, though. You can take up other people's interests.
Yeah, be your
like that,
best self. Like,
discover
new things that you like that they show you, but don't feel like you have to like something because they show it to you. You know, don't change yourself. It's nonsense.
Yeah. I'm catching up on the chat, and first off, I'm sorry, Cal. I did not think about your feelings there. Tom Zambino hates Grease. Okay, that's another thing he hates. First Fast and the Furious, and now Grease. And yeah.
I see Tom Zambino.
The flying car thing. That's another weird thing about that movie. I totally forgot about that.
Did you see the memes with that Tesla in space, and they put the Grease car there instead?
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. And to answer your awesome speech there, Kimber, I am myself, but it's probably going to take a while. It's just hopefully happens, but it's I did love that joke. I did like that.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that.
5 years ago. So.
Yeah, we just met 5 years ago. Like I was.
Not 20. Everybody can be Joe and Ashley.
I was 26 when I met Tom. You know, it's not like we met when we were, you know, and that's awesome if you meet somebody when you're that young. Like in a lot of ways, I'm kind of jealous of Ashley and Joe. You know how much heartbreak I would have saved myself if like I just met the right person at that age. Like that's wonderful, and they are goals for days, but it doesn't happen that way for everybody. You know, they're really lucky. It just for most people really it takes some time, and people are still like figuring out who they are and stuff before they get to that point. Myself included. Like Tom's not the first person I dated. I had to go through like a lot of bad relationships to get to the point where I met somebody like Tom, you know, and thousands of miles away from me. He's not like from my hometown, you know. We got really lucky. But yeah, and you're young, man. You got this. Don't stress.
I know, it's me and Morgan. We're just two good-looking bachelors just on the town. That'd be an awesome.
Both babies, so you have nothing to worry about. You have so many years ahead of you for all that.
That'd be an awesome OSP spin-off show. Just me and Morgan just having adventures.
Nice. I'm for it. So, Road Raider 3 asked, what romantic trope from TV and movies would get you arrested?
Okay, now it's rant time, because let me preface this by saying that I absolutely cannot stand Valentine's Day. I think it's a stupid holiday, and I mean, if anybody likes it, that's awesome. I don't judge you for that, but I can't stand it. And this is one of the worst cliches, not only in romantic movies. For me, this is one of the worst cliches ever. It's the misunderstanding. And how that goes is a little something like this. The couple starts to fall in love. Everything's going great, but a misunderstanding, like an ex shows up, like in The Wedding Singer or something like that, and then there's this big fight, and then I don't love you anymore. They walk off, they mope around for a little bit, and then of course it's a misunderstanding. It slows the movie down. We know how it goes every single time. It's in every dumbass romantic comedy. I hate it. God, God, I would cut it out of existence if I could, but I can't.
I love rom-coms. Like that's
No,
gotta be
I
like
do.
the girliest thing about me is I love all that shit, and like the worse that it is, the more I love it. So I eat all that shit up like it's breakfast. But I totally
can't
understand your
stand
complaint.
the misunderstanding. I like a lot of romantic comedies. Like When Harry Met Sally, to me, is like one of the best examples of a romantic comedy. And I don't know if there's a misunderstanding in that. I haven't watched it in a long time, but it's amazing. But I cannot stand it in any movie.
Yeah. If you guys want to watch a good rom-com, I'm just gonna throw this out there every year until everybody watches it. But the 5-Year Engagement with Jason Segel and Emily Blunt is a movie that nobody watched, and it's a little long, but it's an extremely hilarious and wonderful rom-com that's really for a whole couple to enjoy. It's not just like a super chick flick, but that movie is such like a hidden gem. Check it out. And I'm with Eric Monroe. I see him in the chat here saying that he likes the candy. I too like the candy for Valentine's Day, and I think Tom Zambino was like, "Oh, you mean the day after sales of the candy?" And yes, you guys are all correct in the chat.
Yeah. 5-Year Engagement, great date movie, by the
Best
way.
mustache movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know I love Jason Segel, and you got Chris Pratt in there, and like really the whole cast is awesome.
Crossbow.
The crossbow. I like he makes like he gets into hunting because he's fucking miserable, and like he starts making like all this stuff, and he makes this like mug that's like a deer leg and like it's all hair, and he's drinking out of the mug, and I think it's Chris Pratt is like, "You look like you're drinking out of Chewbacca's dick right now." It's hilarious.
No, great movie.
Good one, yeah. Allison Bree's in that as well. Really, it's awesome. Check it out. What do you think, last question, by the way, is the worst date ever in pop culture?
Okay, this is one that I don't think anybody thought of this because it's such an old movie, but it's a great movie. Taxi Driver. Robert De Niro's character, Travis Bickle, takes out Sybil Shepherd's character, Betsy, out to a date. And it is the worst possible thing you can take a girl out to. It's a porn. He literally, like, somehow he got her to say yes, even though Travis Bickle's a terrible person. If you watch the movie, like, he's awesome in it. De Niro's awesome, but Travis Bickle is, like, he's psychotic and, like, very disturbed. And he's putting her into this very uncomfortable position. And it's a very uncomfortable moment in the film. But he takes her to a porn, a Swedish porn, by the way, and he just, like, he makes it super awkward. It's like, what are you doing, dude? You're doing everything.
Well, listen, okay, the first thing I'm going to say
That's what you're into.
Some ladies are like porn, you know what I'm saying? And if this is like a woman that you've been seeing for a while and you know that she's into that sort of thing and you take her on this date that you're both interested in, that's completely a different thing than taking someone who hasn't shown no interest and is very uncomfortable in that situation to a porn. But I will say that
I can rebut that, though. I can rebut that. This was a first date, and she was seen, and she is the good girl. In this case, she was just a volunteer, like helping get like the mayor elected or something, and like, you know, just a regular person. And they didn't have that's like, if you're into that stuff, great, but that's not something you do on a first date. Absolutely not.
Yeah, you certainly would want to like clear that with the lady before you make such a bold move. I see where you're definitely coming from with that. Like, yeah, that's not for everyone.
It was just it's super awkward. I mean, Ashley mentioned Liz's date, and that is just so bad. And I wanted to answer How I Met Your Mother because I agree with you. The romance in that show sucked. Everything that they did with Barney. I liked the character development until the very end when they dropped the ball. because yes, he's a sleaze and he's a terrible guy until like him and Robin. They had amazing chemistry. God, and then Ted just turned into like that one guy where you're like just get your shit together, dude, and just go for it. But I hate that show's last season and that finale so much. It hurt me on a personal level so much. Because I made my first friends in high school because of that show. I got to meet Kobe Smulders and I fanboyed out. And she agrees with us. Like, she hates the Ted and Robin thing. Like, seriously. But, yeah, on that note, this is fun. It's always great to see your beautiful faces and lovely opinions.
Well, thank you so much, buddy. Are you working on anything currently? You want to plug your upcoming show?
Yeah, actually that's kind of in limbo right now because I didn't expect to get as busy as I was, but it's definitely something I want to do. It was just a podcast where I talk about conventions and stuff. And right now I'm just watching I'm trying to go through as many hidden gems as possible or any like cult films. Like tonight I just watched Can't Hardly Wait. Pretty good. And I watched Not Another Teen Movie yesterday. Hilarious.
She's All That.
So yeah, I have never seen She's All That.
Watch She's All That.
Have you seen Josie?
I'm going to watch it. Yeah, that's the next thing I'm going to watch.
Watch Josie and the
Trust me, Tom. It's the next thing I'm going to watch. Don't worry about it.
My high school crutch. I can't remember her name.
Rachel. Oh, Rachel.
Yeah. Wood. Right?
No. It's
hold on. Rachel Cook.
Rachel Lee Cook.
Yeah.
All right, Billy.
But,
we will talk to you, buddy. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, no problem. You just find me on Twitter at BBusterBill, and I'm on Stardust as Billy Pollahan. But yeah, bye guys.
Later.
Bye, buddy. He just looks out.
So we're gonna get Mormo in next, and then Mormo will be followed by Bill if he wants to come in, and then after that we continue on with the line in the order that you guys showed up. And thank you so much.
TJ's back.
Oh, if TJ wants to come in, we'll let Eric in first. But that speed pass is definitely getting used by these $5 and up patrons. We appreciate you guys so much.
Mormo, if you're around, I need your email again, buddy.
And Eric Monroe was saying that Tara Reid was in Josie and the Pussycats.
She was,
and so was the beautiful and talented Rosario Dawson.
And who is the albino?
Albino.
I mean, spoilers. Sorry. Never mind. Let's not talk about it. You know. What I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But now I don't want to ruin it for anybody. So
a lot of people were in that movie. Parker Posey was in that movie. It's another one, hidden gem. Off topic though.
this is the boring part where I do nothing. Mormo in here. Mormo, zine of the Mormo Zone and other things, such as Mormo beans.
And that cool doll I made.
And that cool doll Kimber made.
I'm glad that doll didn't get poked with any pins or anything on the way to Mormo.
Mormo beans. Hey, buddy.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. How are you doing, Tom?
I'm doing good. I don't want to alarm you, but there's a larger version of yourself behind you.
Yeah, I didn't paint up, so I threw that on the green screen, and then I got my doll too. I'm having some psychodrama with the makeup right now, so I haven't been putting it on lately, but
hey man, whatever you gotta do. But it's time to talk about bad Valentine's Day moments. And we're gonna start with what character in pop culture ended up with the wrong person, do you think?
I'm gonna say Harry Potter. I think he should have hooked up with Hermione.
I agree. Kimber gave me a thumbs down, but or Cho. I really like Cho in the books.
Yeah, but Hermione
I
was
just
so
want-
smart, and Ginny Weasley was just kind of a not that fleshed out character, and just didn't have that much going on. I didn't think. I thought he would have been a lot better off hooking up with Hermione.
or Snog, as they say. Maybe they don't. I don't know. All right. Our buddy Brian asked us, "What is the most toxic couple that people consider iconic?"
I'm gonna say Peg Bundy and Al Bundy from Married with Children. They like I could tell how toxic they were when I was a kid, because even when I was a little kid, I knew like how hot Peg was and everything. And yet he never wanted to have anything to do with her, and
Yeah.
they like had this complicated sex life and everything where she always wanted it and he didn't want to give it to her. And
Yeah. He was missing out. That's for sure. I liked her in Smart House. We were talking about Disney Channel stuff earlier.
what's Smart
Kayla,
House?
It was this old Disney Channel movie where I can't remember her name, but the Peg Bundy, she's like this computer generated. It's supposed to be like a kid like weird horror thing. But it's not. It's Disney. But
Watch it.
Right on.
yeah, maybe review it. I'm sure you can find it somewhere.
I'll look it up.
All right. Another question is, what romantic trope from TV or movies would get you arrested?
I'm going to go with an old example. You used to see this in black and white movies a lot, where the woman would become hysterical and the man would just slap her across the face to like snap her out of it, you know?
Yeah, good point.
I can't think of a specific example, but I know I've seen like Humphrey Bogart and a lot of those type of characters do it, where they just reach over and slap the woman to get her to stop being hysterical. And I don't think you could do that nowadays. And I've even seen it where they like the man slaps the woman and then they kiss right after that too.
Yeah, that's always weird, but that's a good poll.
That wouldn't be my reaction.
Yeah, Kimber would hit back harder. All right, and what's the worst date ever in pop culture?
This one I had a real hard time with. I actually thought of Billy's answer, but I couldn't remember the movie well enough. Of Taxi Driver, I thought of that too with the porn theater, but I decided to go with the movie Strangeland. Have you ever seen that, Tom?
I don't think so.
It's Dee Schneider as like a schizophrenic, tattooed and pierced maniac, and he lures a teenage girl to a party. He tells her it's a party, and then he ends up kidnapping her and torturing her. It's a really rad movie, but for some reason that was all I could think of for a bad date, because like I say, it's supposed to be a party, but then he kidnaps her and ties her up and all this, and he plays a madman. It's a really awesome movie. Dee Schneider from that old rock band, Twisted Sister.
All right, man. Well, these are all great picks. Do you have any plugs that you want to throw out there?
Yeah, I just reviewed 50 Shades Freed on my YouTube channel. I've been doing a lot of movie reviews. I just started a new movie called Witch Chronicles 2 that I'm going to be reviewing. And there's like Trauma movie reviews on there. There's 3 new movies on Trauma now I need to review. And so keep an eye out on my YouTube channel for my new reviews.
Great, man. For sure.
And thanks so much for that bean video, man. That really was a success. It went viral. Everybody at work was cracking up, thought it was so funny. People are calling it brilliant and everything. It really turned out great, man. So thanks so much, Tom.
No problem. It was fun to do, and I'm just glad that I didn't offend you, honestly, because I was hoping that you didn't think I was making fun of you. But I
totally.
loved
I loved it, and so did a bunch of my friends. It got 17 shares and like 1,400 views on Facebook, and
that's awesome. All right, well, we'll be seeing you soon, and I'm sure we'll be talking soon about Mormo Zone Season 2 for everyone, because people ask me. So
I got a lot of people asking me too, so we'll have to do that soon. I'll see you later, Tom.
See you later, buddy. He's got some red beans here. Just eating some beans. He's got some red beans here. Hi, Dean Morgan. He's just eating some beans. He's seen it. Two people talking on the same screen, eating some beans.
Calling Bill or...
I'm gonna call Eric just because he has been here forever, and then we'll get Eric and TJ in here.
Bill.
Or Bill. No, Bill and TJ is what I mean. Yeah.
Look at Mavis biting me while I pick her up. Isn't she so cute?
That's not very nice.
Trying to steal my spot. Look, it's a love fight. She loves me so much. Can't you tell?
And Eric, I need your email, or I can give you the link, whatever you prefer, because it's not good. Thank you so much for everybody for joining us on this great holiday special where we're talking about broken hearts. Not really. Oh, hi.
Hey.
I wasn't saying anything. I've got some red beans here, eating some beans.
Hey, now Nugget, have you coming back?
She's back, and she's
worse than ever.
Worse. This summer, starring Bruce Willis as Mavis.
No. No, Bruce Willis is
Yippee-ki meow, mother meowers.
Who would voice Mavis?
Who would voice Mavis?
Let us know in the chat if Mavis was in like an animated movie. Who would voice Mavis?
Who voices?
I think she's kind of clumsy and like silly, so she might be kind of like a Tina Fey.
I was going with the groupie from Fly the Conchords,
Mel,
who also voices the rabbit ear girl on Luis, I think, on Bob's Burgers.
It's a good one. The heater is like making noise, so she's sitting by it now. Uh-oh.
It's ringing, but his hangouts is being dumb.
We got Zoe Deschanel from Cal. Randall says Kate Blanchett. That is like fancy.
I was gonna say who's Winchester? Helen Mirren.
Oh, Helen Mirren. Why is she British though? She's an American cat.
American cat feline.
She's an American cat.
She's an American cat. Cat Blanchett.
You want to drop the link for him?
Yeah, no problem. She's an American.
Janine Garofalo, I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting closer to.
But like, I associate Janine
Garofalo
as like intelligence.
Ellie Kemper from Kimmy Schmidt. That's nice.
That's a good one. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying
she's
Ellie Kemper's
sure.
dumb, but she's got that like
the innocence.
Yeah,
of a cat.
naivety. That is for Eric Ostenmacher. Nobody else click that, or else I won't do anything. We are still having callers.
We're trying to get a hold of the next person in line.
Error. Well, Do not click that.
Oh, he's.
I don't know what's going on, Eric. I can try to send you another invite.
If it doesn't work, maybe try
No.
restarting again.
Benedict Cumberscratch.
Their cat's name was Benedict Cumberscratch. That's amazing. I love it. 2 thumbs up to that.
We're coming to your house. Oh man, I have American Cat stuck in my head.
It's not even a song. I know Cumberbatch is doing that Grinch movie, which I didn't like the teaser for.
This is the most interesting part. This is the most interesting part. Which method did I use? Copy and paste, yo.
Yeah, there's an animated Grinch
It
movie
actually showed up this time. It actually showed up this time. I don't know why it didn't actually show up last time. So hey guys.
Hey, how's it going?
I might sound a lot clearer than I normally do because I got this fancy new microphone.
I didn't notice your giant microphone. But
yeah.
it sounds good.
Yeah.
All right.
I know it sounds good because I can actually hear it in my own ears. Because I'm plugged directly into the microphone.
You're fancy.
Ooh. All right. What character ended up with the wrong person?
Okay, so what character ended up with the wrong person? Now, this might get overturned for later in this season because it is a current season of Supergirl thing. But spoilers for Supergirl for those who don't know. At the end of season 2, was it? At the end of season 2, at the end of season 2, Mon-El got sent into space, got sucked into a wormhole, went to the future, came back this season. He'd been in the future for 7 years and he is now married. But as we found out in this most recent episode, he only got married to calm a peace between a bunch of people. And as he's returned to the present, he just realizes that he still has all these feelings for Kara despite being in the future for 7 years, and it's really taking a toll on him this entire time. So I just think that he should not have married Saturn Girl to begin with.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
we don't watch that show, unfortunately, so we don't have too much to add to that. But you've seen that's good reasons.
I know in the comic books, it's a big deal when Supergirl decides to go to the future to, I think, be with Mon-El. I could be wrong, but or maybe she was into Brainiac then. I don't remember, but
I remember in Justice League Unlimited it was to be with Brainiac, but that's
all right. Good answer. You pass. What is the most toxic couple that people consider iconic?
Now, you guys got through all the toxic couples that I would consider iconic, so I'm going to go with one that everybody knows is toxic, and it's he points to it's yeah, that's absolutely toxic. So I'm going to do another Steven Universe answer, so a little bit out of the box, but well, so
that's why he's doing that.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. So how far are you guys?
Not very far. Season 1.
Okay, so you're in season. All right, so then I won't spoil it, but just say at the end of season 1, there will be a character that pops up. Because one thing I can't talk about how fusion is used in the show to sort of represent relationships, and there is a fusion that shows up in the season 1 finale that just personifies a toxic relationship. And I guess at some point I'll elaborate that on that once you guys are actually caught up with that. But that's the one I do. That's my answer, and I don't want to say the name of the.
I like.
Oh yeah, way more toxic than Opal. Trust me.
Oh no.
There's that the Opal doesn't even scratch
Opal's
the surface.
dope.
Opal's great. Opal's
the
great.
coolest character design on the whole show is Opal so far. Like that was such a cool character design. Like I like how
just
she kind of she has like a kind of like an Indian goddess feel to her, and like I like how they took the two weapons and it turned like the whip and whatever the other girl has.
The whip and the spear into a bow. That is pretty good. They do a lot of that with all the fusions too. So it's like if you can think of ways that other gems' weapons would come together, that's pretty much how it goes. Like I think the next fusion on your list would be the fusion between amethyst and garnet. So if you can imagine what those two weapons would join together, yeah. And that fusion is voiced by Nicki Minaj, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Opal is like that's my favorite character design on the whole show so far. Like I kind of hope we see more of that.
I mean, just wait till you get to Alexandrite, and that's when things get insane. So
also educational about semi-precious stones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm glad that you guys are actually finally watching that show. So I love Steven Universe
about it. Yeah, no, Cal, it's cool. The bow that we're talking about shoots one arrow, but at the same time it shoots thousands of arrows, hitting everything that it comes along. So it's like right along the lines of that bow from Hindi religion.
And not only that, like because she's like two characters put together, she has 4 arms, which kind of gives that same like a Indian goddess type feel, and like just the character design
she
in
has
general.
a gem on her forehead.
Like she's really cool. She's really fucking cool. Just,
the cool thing about the fusions, just to go off on a little bit more of a tangent, is that they all have the gem placements of the gems that make the fusion as well. So there is the amethyst, chest one and the pearl head one. So you'll get a lot of that as you get fusions with different people.
Knowing, I mean, that's my favorite part of Dragon Ball Z is the fusions, and they don't have enough of that.
Yeah, everything before the Buu Saga, you're like, I just care. Once the Buu Saga starts, you're like, oh man. Yeah, all right, let's move on.
Dude, when I was a kid in like study hall, I would like be like, well, what if Cell and Piccolo fuse? So I just draw it out. And
that there is a fusion generator now. You can actually do that.
Oh, nice.
Cal,
I mean, it's not great, but it exists.
We were talking about Steven Universe. It's a cartoon. It's a cool show. So Tom Zambino asked us, what romantic trope from TV and movies would get you arrested?
So there's one that really comes to mind, like one specific example. I don't exactly think it's a trope, but didn't Stan rape that girl in Revenge of the Nerds?
Yeah.
Like that movie. If it wasn't for the fact that she actually developed feelings for him, that would end with him in jail.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, Revenge of the Nerds is like a movie from the late 80s or early 80s, I don't remember. And essentially one of the main characters, one of the nerds, wears a similar costume to this girl's boyfriend, seduces her. Well, not really. She thinks it's her boyfriend, and then like takes off the mask cap like at the end, and her reaction is, "Oh, that was great, and you're a nerd." Now I think and that's just unrealistic.
Clearly not written by a woman, obviously.
Yeah,
that would not go down like that, and I'm glad that like they're moving towards not doing crap like that in movies, because it just like really gives dudes bizarre ideas of like what's okay, and that's certainly something that's like obviously very not okay and would land you in jail for sure.
Yeah,
but yeah, definitely a good pick. All right,
what do you think the worst date ever in pop culture is?
So I'm gonna have to go into a bit of explanation, because this is a scene in the middle of a video game. So in Mega Man Star Force 1, for those of you who don't know, it's essentially the follow-up to Mega Man Battle Network, and so it's like an RPG sort of, and the whole thing is about the main character Geo. He's got no friends. He's cut off himself from the whole world because his dad got shot into space. It's a whole thing. So he finally makes a friend, and they decide to go to this jungle exhibit, but this other person that's sort of been stalking him this entire time. She decides to then sort of, watch them while they're on their date. Meanwhile, because of all the craziness that's been happening all over, the stalker friend is being transferred to another school, and she's been hiding this. And the whole thing is that with this, these aliens are attaching themselves to people that have been having negative emotions. So because of all these negative emotions between her feelings towards her parents and her feelings towards the main character and this girl being out on this friend date, she then becomes the boss of this entire section and becomes this like snake monster. So yeah, I think that's a pretty bad date. When your friend turns into a snake monster and tries to defeat you.
Sounds like a
that's bad.
Tuesday. All right, well, that's everything, Eric. What do you got to plug?
Well, as always, we've got, well, except for last week, we've got Down Pilot podcast coming out tomorrow, where we talk about the Justice League of America movie pilot thing. We got some in-depth discussion about that, and then after that, we'll actually be announcing what it is at the end of that episode. What next week's episode is at the end of that episode. And I don't know if you guys muted yourself. I just can't. I can see your lips moving, but I can't hear you talking. Okay. Okay. I'm like, wait.
Behind the scenes.
Okay. It's probably just on me on the stream, but I can see you guys like talking to each other. So anyway, like I said before, previously, Still Whelmed will start soon with my episode about my pitch of how to bring Wally West back into the show in season 3. I'll probably be recording that soon, so keep your ears and eyes out for that when that drops. And other than that, nothing else that I think I am at liberty to announce. So there is more, but not more that I think I can say at the moment. So that's it for me.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you for waiting, and it's always nice to see you.
All right, see you guys later.
Bye, buddy.
Bye. So, yeah, Bill is coming in next.
I knew that too.
One of our lovely
Patron
patrons.
producers.
Patron producers. Ooh. And again, a big thank you. We had a great weekend for Patreon, and we just really appreciate you guys showing us that support. And it's really going to help us. We do plan on upgrading our lighting and possibly our computer so that it doesn't have so many problems in general eventually with the money that we've been getting from Patreon.
If we could get the patron to like cover monthly installments of a computer, then that's just perfect. That's pretty much the goal kind of right now, is just get a new PC up the
Hey, there we are.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
I like.
How are you guys doing? What's that?
Well,
did you have like some sort of like sassy pose in your picture that popped up real quick?
Yes, I did. Yes. So, that was from I think it was like a wedding years and years ago. It was somewhere in like it was like Havre de Grace, Maryland. My friend was getting married, and it was like this outdoor wedding, and they had this daybed set up. So I did the Costanza pose on it, and that picture has haunted me ever since. So
nice, love it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's get these questions. Our buddy Cal asked, "What character ended up with the wrong person?"
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Oliver Queen and Felicity. That just bugs the hell out of me to this day still. Even though like Felicity's fine, she's actually a really great character. But in the back of my mind, I just keep waiting for when is he gonna marry the Black Canary, because that's just what should be happening. So it's like if it's like if Superman all of a sudden decided to marry like Vixen. Like, I mean, that's fine, but like he's supposed to marry Lois. That's just the way things are supposed to work for me. So
I remember going through the same thing during Smallville when he was dating Lana, and I'm like, all right, but when's Lois gonna show up? Like, I know Lana's canon and everything, but...
and sometimes they do too good of a job like making characters have chemistry that shouldn't, because I thought Felicity was cute with Barry, like
or even Ray. I thought her and Ray should have been together.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh well.
All right, our good buddy Brian over at the DVD Bunker, he's asking us, what is the most toxic couple that people consider iconic?
I don't know about iconic, but if I think toxic couple, I immediately go to Joker and Harley, but that's like the layup answer. But the more I was thinking about it, I would have to go with Piper and Voss on Orange is the New Black. Like, I know they're supposed to be the couple. There's this on again, off again thing, and just every time they get together, everything goes to hell. Nothing works out. They're in friggin' prison because of their relationship. It's just bad from top to bottom.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with you there, and I thought about doing that answer, and then like it escaped me when we got closer to the show. But totally, they are the worst together. And
they just do. It is just like a playbook on how to make poor decisions in life. It's just awful.
And they just like cheat, even in jail. Like they're just cheating and like get into other relationships and cheat with each other, and just like bad decisions all around. And like you said, they are in jail because of how their relationship went before they got there. Bad. You're right.
Yeah, it is. There's nothing remotely healthy about anybody in that relationship at all.
No. So. In a show that has a lot of unhealthy relationships, that's probably the worst.
Yeah. So,
So at Road Raider 3, Tom Zambino asks, what romantic trope from TV and movies would get you arrested?
I would have to go with The Bet. I know that was a popular one that always used to happen, like the How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, or just anyone where it's like, I have to use trickery to make this person fall in love with me, but in the end they end up together anyway. And I'm like, well, you're all terrible people. Why should this work out? Like, yes, that's what I was trying to grab. Yeah. No. Or I guess even to another extent, like, was it My Fair Lady or Pygmalion? Maybe. It's just like it's all predicated off of like deception and lies.
Yeah, how do you
that's a
find that
bad
out
message to send.
You buy a guitar.
How is it not a deal breaker? How do you find that
out? Because romance. I have no idea. So.
Nice.
But that's why I don't write romance movies.
Yeah, me either. Mine would be Sick because I thought Phantom Thread was terribly romantic. For those of you who have
mine would end up being The Baxter. That would be my idea of romance. So, which if you haven't seen it, it's horribly underrated, and I recommend it.
I'll put that on the list, definitely.
Yeah.
What do you think is the worst date ever in pop culture?
So I'm gonna have to go with The Night Before, if I have to really think. And I'm probably one of 8 people that have seen this movie. So it was like a 1988 movie, and it was Keanu Reeves and Lori Loughlin from Full House. So the premise is he's like this nerdy guy in high school, and she is like the popular cheerleader. He somehow gets a date with her, but the movie opens with him in an alley, and he had some crazy blackout. And here it's like the date went wrong. He smashed the dad's car. She somehow turned into a prostitution ring. They end up in the wrong side of town. It's just horrible. Like, I'm sure in the 80s, like, oh, that's pretty funny. Nowadays, it's just like every box check of like, wow, what are you thinking? Like, it's just really bad.
They need to do some MST3K for like more modern movies that are like from that time period, and instead of like so old, it'd be fun.
Well, I feel like a lot of the B movie riff track stuff they've been doing with like Stone Cold or Firehead, stuff like that are just like total cheese and trash, and I just like I love it. So, but I would like the traditional MST treatment on it too. So
some of the movies that are in MST3K are like secretly cheesy love story. Like half of the Hercules movies they have on there are love stories.
Yeah.
So like they have a fair amount of like the romance angle.
I was more talking about like the time period.
Oh, the time
Because
period.
a lot of those movies are like a lot older than that.
Well, maybe,
But I like the riff tracks even when it's on something I like too. Like we were watching the Game of Thrones ones and it was killing us. Like I was dying. It was so.
What was the? I think I don't know if they did it yet or if but they did one for like Daredevil episode 1. And I know that's on my like to do list. Yeah, I would totally. And apparently, the girl that plays was it Marcy, the woman they end up working with? She's like a diehard Riff Tracks fan, and they're like going back and forth on Twitter. And she's like, "You guys better not like put on kid gloves. You need to give me like the proper treatment." So,
nice.
Which is like pretty great. So, yeah.
Well, did you want to let everybody know where they can find you and stuff if they
yeah. Yeah. So I'm on Twitter, and I believe it's at Philadelphia, PA. I also still have Research and Destroy going, which is on YouTube. I just a few weeks ago did a 2-hour live one where me and a friend of mine, the subject was we went through all 32 of the DC animated movies, bracket style. So that was a lengthy episode, but it was a lot of fun. I know like Joe and Ashley and a few other people popped in from time to time, so that was a good time. I do have a couple episodes. Yeah, and if anybody wants to be on, or if you guys want to be on, let me know. That'd be great.
We'd love to.
Because I got a whole bunch of I got a bunch of topics I would like to just actually go over. I think it would be good. So yeah, that's about it. So
yeah, for sure. Anytime. I'm sorry we missed that because that's definitely like right up our alley, but we'll have to go back and at least check that out and see how it went down and make sure we're subscribed so we don't miss stuff like that.
Yeah, but, I know in the episode before I actually had Brian on and we did all the Child's Play movies and that ended up being a lot of fun too. So
well, we have some binging to do on your channel, I guess, because we love Brian too. We'll definitely want to check out all that.
I just have 2 questions about where did Under the Red Hood fall on the list?
So that was actually the number 2 seed.
Yes, number 1 was Mask of the Phantasm.
We didn't include Mask of the Phantasm in the list. We tried to keep it to the because it was DC was like it was the 10-year anniversary of them starting the animated, and Mask of the Phantasm would have won if we stuck it on there. Oddly enough, like me and my friend when we made the list was like, there's just it would beat everything. There's just no way.
Yeah.
So
it was a theatrical release.
Yeah, some of the ones on the list actually did too. So, well, I know like The Killing Joke, unfortunately, got a theatrical release, but what are you going to do? So there was actually only 1 cheat because it ended up being 31 movies, not 32. So we threw in Batman versus Dracula from the Batman series, so that ended up getting in there. Yeah, so it was actually a lot of fun, like going back and forth trying to figure it out. So we had a lot of fun.
New Frontier is another one just to appreciate the art style.
There was a lot of talk about that one. Yeah, that one came up a lot. So that one made it pretty far into the end. So
awesome. All right. Yeah. Well, we'll definitely have to check that out. And thanks so much for joining us. And thanks again for becoming a patron. We really appreciate it.
Oh, no, absolutely. It's my pleasure.
All right. Have a great night, man.
All right, you too, guys. Bye.
Later. I like Bill a lot. He's cool.
Yeah, Bill's pretty dope. Crisis on Tour, it's a pretty good. Doom's all right.
Who do we got coming up next?
Eric Monroe.
Oh, I like him. I say that like I get excited every time, even though I like everybody. Oh yeah, they're great. Every single person.
Eric, I need your email.
I think I saw Matt in the chat commenting on my Slytherin house, and you already know. I would say that we're the best house, but that's like a very Slytherin cliche thing to do.
Sorry, everyone's talking about DC animated movies in the chat.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know he was doing that. We'll definitely have to go
back.
And,
I had no idea. He's keeping secrets from us this whole time.
You'll have to put his channel on the related channels for sure.
Yeah. I don't know how I missed that one, but I will. Oh, we had 3 packages arrive today. That sounds right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello. Hi.
Hey, buddy.
How's it going? Can you hear me?
My microphone is muted. I don't know what.
Nope. It's good now. I just turned you up. Unmute. Talk.
Kenny, wait.
Uh-oh.
Eric's just breaking everything.
I can see you. I cannot hear you.
You can't hear me? La la la. I am singing. This is me singing. And I'm singing. I'm singing. Yeah, I'm singing. All right. Well, Eric does something. We hope he is not attacked by another wasp down in the basement. Oh, I heard a click. I heard a click. Do.
My dad bought this for me.
Oh wow,
Little, but it's only 4x6 foot.
it's cute. This is the Eric channel, where we try to figure out what's going on. Why can't he hear me? Why can't he hear me? What is this? I'll just put the questions up.
Okay. Hold on. I'm going to call you from my phone.
Okay.
Okay, because I don't know what's going on with my computer, but I can call you from my phone. Hold on.
Well, that won't work. Oh no, now he's gone. I can't tell him that won't work. All right, so we'll just do it quick on my phone, I guess. Oh, he's back. How'd that work?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm calling from my phone. Okay, got it. Okay, good. Okay, I don't know what's going on with my computer there. Kind of weird. That's never happened to me, but yeah. So let's do it from my phone.
All right. Well,
So
he's
hey,
back,
buddy.
ladies and gentlemen.
So I got the charge going. Okay, we're good. Can you hear me fine? Everything good?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, in the chat, Jonathan, you're next.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you, man. Let's get through this.
Yeah,
How you been? First off, how are you?
I'm okay in general, and a little bit of pain. Have a tear in my rotator cuff, but I'm gonna be okay.
Oh no.
Yeah.
We'll get through this together, man.
Yeah, I'll be okay.
All right.
Let's hit it.
First question: what character ended up with the wrong person?
Okay, I don't believe you and Kimber watched Dawson's Creek. Do I have that right?
Dawson's Creek.
A little bit.
Oh, she did a little.
Well, okay, I was a hardcore fan of it, and I know every Dawson's Creek fan that sees this is going to absolutely hate me, but I was very upset that she did not end up with Dawson and that she ended up with Pacey. I understand Pacey was
it's his creek.
Yeah, but it really became Joey's Creek, Katie Holmes' character's Creek, to be
False
honest.
advertising.
Yeah, to be honest, but yeah, Pacey was the fan favorite with the ladies that watched the show. You know, my sister loved Pacey. Every girl I dated loved Pacey, but I was Team Dawson. I wanted her to end up with him, and spoiler alert, it didn't happen.
Garbage.
For me. But yeah, that's what I'll go with that. I was going to try to be cute. My original answer was going to be, I was going to say Stannis and the Iron Throne. Should have ended up on the Iron Throne, but I didn't go with
that. All right. I'm not going to tell them. All right. What is the most toxic couple that people consider iconic?
I don't know how iconic people consider it, but I'm going to go for Game of Thrones answer of this. I'm going to say Jaime and Cersei Lannister.
Oh yeah.
I think their relationship is extremely toxic. First, reading about it in the books, and then seeing it actually on. Oh, you swapped out. That's hi, Kimber. And then seeing it play out on the show, it made it even more toxic for me. I mean, we know the history of Westeros. We know the Targaryens did a lot of inbreeding. It was a common thing, but still, to see twins actually having sex, it's very, very creepy, and their relationship it's just not very normal, not very stable. I wouldn't recommend that. I know some people could say love is love, I guess, but very creepy.
That's not what they mean when they say love
Yeah, I'm
is
just
love.
saying. Some people could say that, but very, very creepy. So I'll say that Jamie and his twin.
I'm going to ask you a question. So that show obviously has its fair share of toxic relationships, like Sansa and Ramsay come to mind. There's a lot of them. What couple do you think is the best couple in Westeros? Because I have one in mind.
The best?
Dead people count.
I would have to say, I mean, I kind of always had a thing for the kind of Romeo and Juliet, like forbidden love kind of vibe. So I did love Jon and Ygritte. I did get into them in the book, him being a Night's Watchman, her being a wildling. It's like kind of forbidden Romeo and Juliet. It never ends well, but I would have to go, I guess, with them. Oh no, you know what? You know who I would go with before them? I'd have to go with Ned and Catelyn.
That's what Joe's saying in the chat here. I have a completely different answer than both of you guys.
What would you say?
It's clearly Oberyn Martell and Ilaria Sand. Like, these two completely understand each other and are fully like open with each other. And I think she appreciates him in a way that most women wouldn't, and that they both have a really fulfilled and happy relationship because of it.
That is a very, very good answer. I can totally agree with that. They the kind of couple that complete one another, as you say. They understand each other. There's no games. There's no, you're going to break my heart. They're going to be together forever, but they get it. I agree with that. That's a good choice.
Yeah, if it's like about fully accepting a person for who they are, like nobody.
And they definitely fully accept each other's stuff. So,
what do you
see in the kennel, guard's daughter?
But
they were perfect for each
they
other.
were like killing.
Oh, Miranda! I actually thought she was hot.
She was hot, but they were hurting.
The reason she was good for him, she was
stuff.
sadistic too. She had that sadistic nature going on.
But Oberyn and Ilaria weren't hurting anybody.
No.
Everything is consensual between their relationship.
Absolutely.
So
I agree with that.
So, what romantic trope from TV and movies would get you arrested?
I'm trying to think who brought this up on Twitter earlier. I think it might have been Jack Shipley, but I'm going to go with the stalker kind of trope. That I've seen this happen on a lot of shows where someone likes someone and they just magically keep appearing in the person they like's vicinity. The person's at the dentist office. They have a dental appointment. If they're getting a haircut, they're getting a haircut. It's very, very creepy. I've seen it happen a lot. And if you stalk someone like that, you may not get arrested at first, but you're definitely going to get a restraining order.
Yeah, for sure. And like, I want to say one more time, because it's really important, that a lot of these shows and movies kind of establish really bad behavior for dudes, and that it's like consent is so important. Like, I can't tell you enough. Like,
it is.
Consent is key. Like, don't be stalking people. Certainly don't touch anybody without their permission, and don't try things that are in movies, because it's movies and it's not real, and it will not go down that way if you try it.
Don't use a movie or a show as a guideline.
How about the kiss from Prince Charming? Like, how about we don't kiss sleeping girls to wake them up?
Consent. This is what I'm talking about.
I actually never thought of that. Oh my god, I never thought of that.
It's creepy.
That is kind of creepy. That is creepy thinking about it now. Oh god, I can't watch that again now. Thinking how creepy it is. You've ruined it for me, Sleeping Beauty.
All right, one more for you tonight, buddy. What do you think is the worst date ever in pop culture?
We can't get into it because it would take too much time, but I was on a terrible date Saturday night. It was horrendous. We had nothing in common. The attraction wasn't there on my part to her. I don't think it was vice versa. It was just a nightmare. I deleted my Bumbler account my friends made for me. It was just horrible. But anyway, I'm gonna have to say Steve Urkel and Laura from the Family Matters. Their first date going all the way back to season 1. Steve helps Eddie out with a test. They make a deal. He kind of, in a way, sort of pimps his sister out and gets her to go on this date with Urkel, which is terrible. Urkel's being typical Urkel, being obnoxious. He has his uncle staking them out because he does get Laura to give him a kiss on the cheek. He makes her feel sorry for him, which he often did, and the uncle takes a picture of it. Just creepy stuff. He destroys the table. It's absolutely horrible. And it's not an example or a guideline of how you should get a girl to go on a date with you and how you should act on a date with the girl. So I'm going to say Steve Urkel and Laura's first date going all the way back to season 1 of Family Matters.
Yeah, it's that creepy nerd trope that is like really particularly like insidious and like bad for a lot of reasons, because they try to play it off like, oh, he's so harmless, but like a creep is a creep is a creep. I don't care like how harmless you are,
And he invents a machine to manipulate her, like Stefan.
Oh yeah, Stefan Arkell. Oh yeah, I remember that. In that chamber thing he had.
Yeah.
You guys are showing your age.
I was actually shocked that in the later season she ended up really liking him. That kind of took me by surprise. Oh yeah.
Well, yeah.
No, but she ended up really liking Steve in the end too.
Well, of course, it was the nerd had
it was just weird because
another dangerous and problematic trope.
Yeah, it took me by surprise because she was always so adamant about no, it's never gonna happen, blah blah blah. But yeah, that's my answers for the questions tonight.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad that we got around the technical difficulties and we got you in here. It's always nice to see you, buddy.
Always the back. Oh, and I just want to thank you so much for this. It's just, I mean, Tom, look what your amazing fiance made. I mean,
I doodled something in your card. I don't get any credit.
I love the stag on the card. I love the stag on the heart. I saw the stag.
Now I have
I just thought that was Kimber too. I'm sorry. I didn't
no,
realize
we both are artists.
Oh, thank you very much. But thank you for the Christmas version of Stannis Baratheon's amazing sigil made
of
even
course,
better.
It was just a little doodle, but I saved it for you. I figured the next time I send out a card.
That's being framed and everything.
Nice. Look at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, buddy. Well, we certainly hope your next date goes a little better than the last one.
Believe me, I have to tell the truth. That wasn't my worst date. I've had worse. I could tell you some horror stories on a Twitter sometime.
I heard the search options Jewish and in my area code work out really well.
Stop.
Really?
It's from a stand-up. It's from this stand-up. But that might work.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Maybe.
But whoever ends up with you, Eric, is a lucky girl indeed. So we know you will find somebody wonderful out there.
And you too help me believe in true love. Thank you.
And we will see you soon, buddy.
I will see you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.
He's kissed by fire.
You can eject me.
Yeah. His is the fury.
Always.
Did I do that?
So who do we got? I don't know if Troy's still around, so probably Jonathan.
Yes, Jonathan, I need your email.
Is Janine calling in? Janine? I'm just saying if Janine called in, then she could tell you all about the amazing stuff she's been up to recently, and that we would love to see Janine. And yes, the OSP dudes are catches. The single ones, ladies.
The single ones?
Well, I'm saying that the married ones are obviously married, so I'm saying single ladies out there, hit up the single OSPeeps. Hey, Raul, you missed all the Grease talk and everything. Oh, he's got ear.
Oh. Ba-da-ba-da.
Do you want to call in, Raul? Because I think you would be up next after Jonathan if you wanted to call in. Oh, okay. Maybe next time, Janine.
What is he trying to do? Make a living? Not cool.
Bed bots. All right, Raul, we'll have you up right after Jonathan. Oh, it's doing that thing again. You might have to drop the link.
Yep. All right, Jonathan. It's not letting me send you a thing, so just click on this link in the chat. This link is for Jonathan. Please let Jonathan click.
And if we missed anybody somehow in the chat who wants to call in, who we haven't been mentioning, just let us know. Troy, did you want to call in? Troy's been here the whole time too. Yeah, Cal's on point in the chat, taking care of that for us.
He's master moderator. Masterator.
Let's not phrase it that way.
Master master. Modder master. Troy says you'll call in.
Oh, cool.
Since we're low on time, maybe we should have Raul and Troy call in together since they're co-hosts. I think they'll be able to do it. This is my singing voice. It's all right, Randall. We still love you. Randall, I got to talk to you about when we're going to be playing Double Dragon on Odd Shape Plays this week for the Double Dragon episode of From Code to Script that will be coming out, hosted by TJ Dex. I'm talking on that one. Talk about Double Dragon from 1994. Yeah, there's that. Mavis is sleeping on the ground. I'm getting a phone call. And this is with Jonathan Peck, Billy, and 2 others. Are you trying to call me on Hangouts, or did you click the link?
Maybe Raul will get some supernatural in the mix. That's my answer for supernatural, is that Bobby should have ended up with Ellen, and we all know this, and they freaking teased us with that one episode where it was like an alternate dimension and they were together, and fuck them for that.
Yeah.
Like, literally fuck them for that.
Okay. Best Double Dragon movie quote. I don't know, when he was like, oh, and then you're like, you said it. No, the best Double Dragon quote is, who's the boss now? That Lash lady says to Alyssa Milano, because she just came off of Who's the Boss. No. Best line is, Huey, Lewis, 2 characters in the thing. What's the news? There's some good one-liners in the movie.
So Eric is saying he liked that episode though, but wouldn't you have liked it to be better if like Ellen wasn't dead and they were actually a couple, like when she was alive for real?
Yeah. Jonathan, what's going on, man? You keep calling my phone, but you gotta click the invite. Yeah. Are you? Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
And thank you guys for a great turnout tonight.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of people here. We really appreciate that. Yeah, and Joe, to be honest, Eric. That was a huge loss to lose them. That was a great episode, don't get me wrong, but that was a huge loss to lose both of them like that. Ellen and Joe were both great. She could have been a potential relationship for Dean, even though I still don't know how I feel about that. But losing Ellen was certainly a huge loss for everybody. That's definitely sure.
All right. Well, we're gonna try this.
That's not gonna work.
It's literally the only option I have. Am I using the icon or the text area to send?
Oh, hello?
Hi.
Hi.
I don't know why it's not working, but it just keeps calling my phone. The link's not working?
I was trying to call in another connection right over here, though, so it got a bit messed up. Sorry about that.
No problem. So we're gonna try again, and we'll hopefully get you on the screen there. But we'll try to work this out. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
All right, so we're gonna try this again.
Maybe shut your phone off.
Shut my phone off.
It won't be able to go there.
What am I doing to invite people? What I do is I hit the invite people icon. Then it says share a permanent link. And then I click that link and I copy it. And then I put it into the... Oh, my phone's not off at all.
Poor guys.
And then hopefully that link in the chat should work. I'm not going from the HTML from the top, the secure HTML. Because try the mail icon.
Those links don't work. They're just saying.
I'm looking at the main, but they work for other people. Why is it so hard, Google? All right. So I think what's happening now is I'm sending you an email with the link, I guess, and that will work somehow. I don't know, Google. You're losing me here. Okay. To my dearest Jonathan.
Is this who your Valentine's him?
I need your email again because I deleted it a little preemptively there. Well, this is where the show becomes a mess. Nope, never mind. I found it. I guess I didn't delete it. Man, I'm falling apart.
Because I'm not on the screen.
I know. What are you doing? To my dearest Jonathan. Please join us. I misspelled Jonathan. All right, I sent an email. Maybe that will do something better. Still a good show, brother.
Mavis has been a good kitty tonight.
Yeah, she's just been chilling by the radiator, which has been killing me.
Hot?
It's hot. You're tearing me apart, Google. You're tearing me apart in Google Hangouts. And when we are apart,
I want to see you rhyme hangouts.
I...
With not bangouts.
Whoa, come on. The temp outside? Like 30 something, I think.
Oh, I can check the actual temperature.
Inside, it's like
85.
the devil's butthole.
It's 25 degrees outside.
I want to walk outside for a minute after this is done.
We can leave it. Don't have food inside the house.
No, I have not done 1920s broadcaster vote. There's a reason for that, apparently.
Do you want to try to sneak one of these guys in here ahead of that, or?
Yeah, I guess we'll try Raul, and then we'll get Troy.
After we can get Jonathan to work.
Broad coaster.
You want to
Beep,
do
beep, 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 beep. This just in. I'm out of here.
surprising news?
Hey, Kimber.
Hey, Raul, how are you tonight?
Very good, and you?
Good. Do you have any Valentine's Day plans?
Working.
Nice. All right.
Hey, I'm okay.
Well, Cal asked us.
I'm okay on this side, or do I flip it?
You can flip it if you want.
Okay.
I think Tom usually likes it flipped.
I don't care anymore. I don't edit them.
There you go. Perfect. So, Cal wanted to know, what character do you think ended up with the wrong person?
Oh, Dan from Gossip Girl stayed with Serena at the end in Gossip Girl.
Oh, yeah? Why is that?
Because they always throughout the whole show, they always hinted that Serena and Dan love each other, and they always on and off. But at the end, I was like, they shouldn't have never stayed together. And I'm saying as a Gossip Girl fan, I like both characters, but I would have liked Dan to stay alone. And so that's why, talking about throughout seasons of many shows, Dan and Serena, they didn't fit each other at the end. They even get married and have children.
Oh, wow. So you would have just preferred alone? You don't have like an alternate person?
Oh, no, Dan never was compatible with anyone. They even tried to they even tried Dan with Blair. I was like, no, don't ruin my ship. Chuck is with Blair, and that's it. That was the main ship in Gossip Girl, and at the end, Blair and Chuck married and everything also.
Nice. All right. So Brian at Hercules wanted to know, what is the most toxic couple that people consider iconic?
Oh, this is a good one. Like toxic, that's like they don't need to. They're like so glued together, right? Like they hurt each other so much. They even go being it no matter what, they still love each other. That's like the meaning of toxic, right?
Toxic means that they just don't have a good relationship. Like maybe they get into fights a lot, or they're like abusive, or just a bad relationship in general.
That's a good one. Well, I'm gonna keep it with teen shows because I cannot think about one in movies, but Spencer and Toby and Pretty Little Liars. And my reason is, and I think that Cal was gonna try to not disagree with me, but Toby throughout the whole show, he was like a bad boy, and then he was good again, and then he worked for A in season 3, and then he was crying about his mother in season 4, and then Spencer went into drugs in season 4, and then he became a cop and almost sent the girls in jail in season 5. And then on season 6, he was on drugs. And then Spencer broke up with Toby again. 5 years later, Spencer got pregnant. And then it was a pregnant scare, and Toby went away. And on season 7, Toby had sex with Spencer's twin. And at the end, he never stayed also, not even with Spencer or the evil twin.
Oh, wow. That sounds like a lot of
problems. That's Spencer and Toby in a nutshell in Pretty Little Liars throughout the whole 7 seasons.
Wow.
And at the end, I was happy that Spencer didn't stay with Toby. That Spencer and Toby stay alone. They didn't stay together at the end. I was happy.
Yeah, sometimes that's better.
Mm-hmm.
What romantic trope from TV and movies would get you arrested?
Oh, the airport scene.
That's been a popular
because
choice.
right now, how security is in an airport, you're not gonna make it. You cannot buy a ticket because, especially now with big airports, let's say like LAX, you don't know the girl is which terminal she is. Then buying the ticket, getting through security, and then trying to get to the gate on time. it's not gonna. He's gonna not gonna make it. If let's say like if I were in that situation, I wouldn't buy a ticket. I was like, I'm gonna get the girl. I'm not gonna buy $1,000 ticket to try to get to the girl in the gate. I'm gonna find my way, and maybe I'm gonna get arrested. I'm gonna find my way to not get arrested and not paying money, but I'm gonna get the girl. And I know that I'm gonna get arrested because. And so
Maybe get them before they go to the airport.
I think that running through the airport, that's the most logical way to get arrested.
Nice. Okay, Jonathan, I see that you're in, but let me just finish up this call with Raul, and then we will go straight to talking to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Raul, I got one more question for tonight. What is the worst date ever in pop culture?
Worst date? Oh, I cannot think about the movie, but that when Ted had that day with that girl in season 5, when they're showing the Ted and that girl that I hated from season 3 and 4, that's left him at the altar.
Stella.
Remember? Yeah, Stella. Remember when Ted goes in the movie theater and that movie is everything about Ted?
Yeah.
I think that's one of the worst things that popped in my head.
The Wedding Bride, I think it's called.
Yes, the Wedding Bride. Yes, I was gonna say the wedding partner. I was like something wedding. I was like,
I liked Marshall in that movie, the fake Marshall.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad date. So for those of you who don't watch the show, Ted almost married this girl, and she ended up leaving him at the altar for her ex, and her ex ended up writing a movie about that experience, but because it's from his perspective, he made Ted like this terrible,
the villain.
Like the worst character. Like it is a lot of Ted's personality, but definitely like an exaggerated version. And I think his name was like Ned Mosley or something.
It was Chris Kattan, right?
Yeah, it was Chris Kattan playing the character.
Chris Kattan in the cowboy boots. That was legendary.
And I think he was on a date and he realized that this movie that he went to is like about him. So that is pretty horrifying. Nobody would want to be in that situation.
I will not forget when Robin said that it was the #1 movie in Russia, that it makes like $500 million.
That's funny. Great choice.
Yeah.
That's all the questions for today, Raul.
Ellen and Bobby. Oh my God, I still remember Ellen and Bobby.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm sad about that. They could have been so good.
Also, I know that Joe and Dean were perfect, but for me, Dean and the British girl from Supernatural season 3, they had really good chemistry.
All right. Bella?
Yeah, Bella. Yes. I always call her the British girl. I always forget her name. I would have liked them both. I like right now if Walking Dead wouldn't assisted, like they would have brought Bella back. I would have bring Bella back as a demon trying to kill Dean. That would have been a very much interesting storyline.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, but that girl, Larry Cohen, she's trapping that crap called The Walking Dead.
Nice. All right, Raul. Well, I do got to get Jonathan in here. We're running low on time, but do you want to tell everybody where they can find you real quick?
You can find me at Raul Beto RDC on Twitter, on Instagram, and also on Stardust. Follow my reactions on Stardust. I just got my reaction for Peter Rabbit in the Regal Movies account. I was like, yes, I need more followers.
Nice. And you still doing the Monday show?
Oh, yeah. And also, I think that you have a link in the description below. We're already on iTunes, and we just recorded the episode on 50 Shades Freed. We review Game Night because I went to a previous screening. Game Night is really good. I really enjoyed it a lot.
Oh, wow.
And also, Peter Rabbit was great. And also, we reviewed Cloverfield Paradox and other indie movies. And also, we did my whole like seeing a lot of TV shows. And also, Kimber, start the countdown. March 1st, the Scooby-Doo crossover.
Yes. Looking forward to it.
Okay. See
Should
you
be
guys.
Bye,
Happy
Bye, buddy.
Valentine's.
Raul.
Bye.
Hey, Jonathan, thanks for
Bearing
waiting
with
for
us. I
us.
think that Eric Ossenmacher helped him get in.
Oh, nice. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, he did. He did kind of help me out get in though.
Awesome. All right.
Sorry.
So, question number 1: what character ended up with the wrong person?
I'm gonna say I'm gonna stick with TV. I'm gonna pick Veronica Mars, in my opinion, because I had to write down my facts right over here. Here's some couple reasons why that I pick her. It's another example. It's a kind of like on again, off again relationship. Just mostly when she picked Logan, for example, though. In the beginning of the season, Veronica Mars, he's being treating her a little bit badly of it. He's getting violent, self-destructive, always getting himself into trouble like that, basically around here. But on the other hand, right here, though, Veronica herself, though, always give a little skeptic about it, just kind of feel bad about it, some fairy tales and stuff like that. It happens going on season to season, even through the movie example of that. And you don't think Veronica should end up with someone? I still think she should end up with Pez, for example, though. He would have been a better person to treat Veronica very well, though.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with the show, but I like the main character, Ellen. What's her face? She's in Good Place.
What?
That's her real name's not Ellen. Her name is Ellen in Good Place.
You're talking about Kristen Bell.
Yeah, Kristen Bell.
Kristen Bell.
That's all I know about it. Yeah. All right. Question number 2. What is the most toxic couple that people consider iconic?
Well, they mentioned earlier about Lois. They mentioned about Homer and Marge, but I'm talking about Lois and Peter Griffin from Family Guy. If you want to talk about one husband like Peter be inconsiderate, dumb, fat ass sometimes, that is Peter. But Lois sometimes she keeps demanding. But people say, "Oh, she's just hardworking. She's too stressful." Well, you might want to think again about her because during sex at one point right here, she actually raped Peter, who was trying to get a position of sex. That is not a good thing under a couple right here in those circumstances. Really, it personally is not, actually. But on the other circumstances right here, when Peter comes home at one point and takes care of the groceries, she gets mad at him, bullies him right here. It's like, no, I'll do the groceries. I'll do the groceries right over here, though. That's far worse. And even Peter, on top of that, did the most stupid stuff himself. Most stupid stuff. Like, I can't even remember what it was.
Yeah, definitely not a great example of a not only that, like the way they treat their kids, like they're not the ideal parents or married couple for sure.
Yeah.
All right, question number 3. What romantic trope from TV or movies would get you arrested?
So tough because that I had to legit think of or look up some things for myself to try to find it because most of it that were kind of taken by it. So I don't not to say sort of a cop out answer, but I had to pick the trope that when you meet someone else, ironically or by accidental about that. That's one instance about that. It mostly happens on TV.
Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but I met Kimber by total accident. If I had been looking up the Harley Quinn cosplay an hour later, I probably wouldn't have seen her picture. So
yeah.
All right. That being said, what is the worst date ever in pop culture?
Pop culture in the movie? I had to go with the worst. Well, it's not saying sort of worst date, but the worst date instance is that it's from the movie Hitch, where Will Smith got the peanut allergy, I guess, from Ava. That's this character right here. That's sort of not a good start by him getting the peanut allergy about it.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of that one either.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, John. Where can people find you on Twitter if they want to talk to you or anything like that?
Okay, you can find me at JPet1090 around Twitter and Instagram right here. So that's pretty much it so far. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you so much for being patient, Jonathan. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Hope to see you
Thanks
next
much.
time.
Bye.
And happy early Valentine's Day.
Oh, thank
Aw,
you.
thank
Happy early
you.
Valentine's Day. We
didn't mean to cut you off. Oops.
all right. Last one we got up for tonight is Troy.
Yeah, and speaking of in the chat, I saw she belongs with Logan, and that reminded me of somebody else who belongs with Logan, and that's Jean Grey. God damn it! And I've complained about it before. Cyclops is a weenie, and she should have went with Wolverine.
Troy, if you have the link right in front of you, why don't you try clicking that, and then we'll try it from there. I've had a horrible headache this whole time, guys. I don't know if anyone could tell.
No, you were doing good.
I broke down.
Troy's a first-time caller, right?
I think so. Not a first-time launcher. First-time caller.
See, Raul, this is why me and Raul get along, because he knows what's up.
That's what's up.
See, Matt, you don't know what's up.
Yeah, well, I'm a Logan Storm subscriber, so that's how I feel.
See, he's on the same page with you.
That's why I like that kid.
See, Janine's on my side. My Slither sister.
Oh, yeah. What do you think, guys? Post-credit scene, Black Panther, we're going to see Aurora Monroe? Is that how they're going to bring the X-Men in?
That would be exciting, I'm not going to lie.
Like, oh, this woman, she's like a goddess.
Raul's trying to steal me away again. Watch out.
Only if he physically picks you up. That's
He
the only
can
way.
physically pick me up. He's a very strong man. That's who I was thinking when we were talking about people kicking people out of our wedding if someone tried to stop it. Raul would be the one because
It's like, how dare you? And also,
he's super strong but also super nice, so he'll like politely kick your ass.
he cows more into Logan and Sabretooth.
Ew.
Whatever.
Been watching too much Game of Thrones.
Brokeback Canada.
I'm just saying that Wolverine is way sexier, so that's where I would have went.
And
with
who?
that. Than Cyclops.
Well, yeah, Cyclops is white bread.
Yes, Raul is very strong. We can vouch. He like picked me up like I was
There was
an
nothing I
infant,
could do.
just whip like cartoon sound
That's
effect.
that's how I knew I had to get the engagement ring.
He tried to sweep me off my feet, literally and metaphorically.
You can call from any Google Hangouts message list now. Oh.
Troy's having a little hard time getting in here too. We appreciate your guys' patience. Cyclops does suck. At least we agree on that one.
He kills Professor Xavier. What's that? Who does that?
Yeah, Gambit and Rogue are a hot couple for sure. He did try to give me a ring in Philly. See that?
And she obviously didn't tell you which ring to buy.
Do we have an alternate way to try to...
Yeah, no.
I think Eric's trying to tell him hints on how to get in the same way that Jonathan just got in. Toad
in
and
the blob. I'm just trying to be crude now.
You're just trying to be crude. Anything we got to go over before?
No, but I'll tell you right now, My Hero Academia is the best anime I've ever seen. Other than that, tomorrow there should be a Down Pilot podcast out tomorrow. I just got to edit it, but all together. And then Day after that is From Code to Script. And then after that is Space Time Rewind. And then at some point we will be... No, it's not. It's Hangouts, Troy, especially on your first time. Like, first time's always the most
And
awkward, I
that
guess.
space-time rewind is the best 12th Doctor era moments and has a little bit of us discussing the Christmas special as well. And then on Monday we should have Ashley's episode with me and Matt for TV three-way, so definitely check that out.
And then we'll be doing the whole pilot thing over again. Not pilot thing, podcast thing. 2 of our podcasts are about pilots, so forgive me. I think the next down pilot podcast after this one will be X Generations, which I remember as a kid being super excited about. It was on Fox. Fox owned them even then. I just remember Skin, who was like a Mr. Fantastic if he was unwilling about it. Thanks, Jonathan. Have a great night.
Give a few more minutes here to see if we can get Troy in. I will feel bad,
Generation X is the name of the thing I'm trying to talk about.
but we do try to wrap up the show around midnight, so hopefully we can get him in on time.
How fitting. It's 3 minutes to midnight, just like real life. Bow, 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 bow.
Thank you,
Thanks,
all
Matt.
of you guys, for coming by and making this another awesome holiday special. You guys are always awesome when we do the holiday ones. We have a nice turnout, and
That's a toxic relationship. The symbiote and Eddie Brock. Venom.
yeah, Cal is also doing some Let's Plays and stuff over on his channel, Kingslayer Network. You can check those out. He's telling us to plug him in the
doing
chat.
Monster Hunter right now, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. He also just recently did oh man, I swear to God, I pay attention.
He was doing South Park
Yeah, the funny one, I can't remember.
and Skyrim.
He was doing Skyrim for a while. But he's doing Monster Hunter right now. That's that one with the cat sidekick.
Yeah. But be sure to check him out and support him as well. He's always helping us, even though he's sick tonight. He stayed up helping us this whole time, and we appreciate him a lot. And he Shadow of Colossus, Life is Strange. He has lots of games over there, so if you're interested in Let's Plays, check him out. And also Ashley and Joe do a lot of Let's Plays, so.
Yep.
All right. Anything from Troy?
Not yet.
Well, we gotta try. We can't spell Troy without try.
You can use an I. How are you getting free PSN games? Tell me your secret. I don't have a PSN though.
Everyone can see your tummy.
It's fine. They've seen it before if they see the anime episode. I wear a sailor uniform, but like a girl one.
So you might want to read there.
What's going on?
Tom, try the URL. If you're a PS Plus member, you get 5 free games.
Oh.
And that's one free plug. Oh, Joe's still here. Hey, Joe. It's that sneaky spice.
That's the
They got
Spice
me with
Gentleman.
the email call. But yeah, I'm just trying to think of if we have anything else to. Oh, wait, check your mail over the next couple of days. If you are on the OSP patron mailing list, you should be getting those pins one more time from Mechanical Kayla. She did a really nice job. They're good quality pins, and hopefully maybe we'll see you guys rocking these. If you put your pin on something, If you put your pin on something, send us a picture, and we'll make a little collage of all the pictures. And as always, thank you, Janine, for designing that awesome logo. Anything outside of that is outside my doing, so...
Well, Matt, when you come pick up your movie...
You still got to send Eric his movie.
That's true.
From Halloween.
He hasn't asked me about it. He obviously
Shame.
he doesn't miss it.
Shame.
I talk to him every week.
But I don't know if this is going to work for us tonight.
Yeah, Troy, sorry, man. We appreciate you hanging out and chilling in the chat. Luckily, Raul was able to... no. Raul was able to...
What we can offer you is a skip the line for next time, because you did wait here for so long and I feel bad. He was here since basically the beginning of the show. So if you want to come to the next show or one after that, just let us know and we can jump you ahead of the line, just because we feel bad when people wait the whole night and then can't get in. So if that sounds okay to you, let us know in the chat. We got to wrap this up. Poor Tom is sleepy and I'm hungry, because you guys know me. Forever hungry.
Yeah. True. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Oh, by the way, we should have announced what the next show is going to be.
We don't have a name for it yet.
We don't have a name for it yet, but our next episode is going to be, because it is Black History Month and a Black Panther is coming out, and all of that, and because we haven't done it yet, Delisha recommended an awesome topic, which is celebrating Black actors in TV and film. So we're going to be doing a spotlight on Black actors, and so if you guys have any questions for that, please do send them our way, and that'll be 2 weeks from today. Uh-oh, I think he's still trying to get in. And thank you, Janine. Thank you, Raul. I think we're waiting a couple extra seconds because he's trying to... Also, maybe we'll get you to call in that time, Matt. We haven't seen you in a hot minute.
Oh.
And if you want to tweet me your questions, you can tweet me at kimberbatch_OSP or Tom at oddshapedpanel, right?
In the description.
They're in the description. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. It should be really great. And I can't wait to see what you guys come up with for questions for that as well, and hear what everybody has to say. Okay.
All right.
Officially not getting Troy in tonight, but we're going to let him skip the line next time, and we are sorry about that. For whatever reason, it's like the first time someone tries to call in is always cursed. So
blame Tron.
It's Tron.
Why did you say that?